Oh, I about said a thing.
Okay, I think we are live.
On YouTube?
Yes, you are.
All right, I'm going to start recording now. All right. Welcome everyone to this is episode 28 of the Bogey Train podcast. First time live streaming. So I'm gonna keep that monitored. Could throw a couple of wrenches into the situation here, but we're going for it. I've got with me Jangs as always, and as you could expect, Noah is at the moment nowhere to be found. And we've got a first time guest. We've got Landon Hall on the mic live from a disclosed or undisclosed location over there, Landon.
Well, you know, just thinking about how vast the audience is, I kind of want to keep it disclosed at this time. But yeah, howdy everyone. My name is Landon. I'll say Minnesota.
First
That's
time guest. Just feeling good. Jangs, what's up with you?
Oh, not a whole lot. I just want to say welcome to Lando.
Thank you.
Nick mentioned first time guest. Hopefully, could become a future host if Noah keeps doing Noah things. So who knows? Or maybe we just have four hosts. Hopefully Noah shows up. I'd like to actually get to talk to Noah this week. It's another day. I'm happy. We just had the Masters. It was a great week, great weekend. Can't wait to get into it.
You know, usually we're just an audio situation. So these would be the faces behind the voices. Don't always see them, but and a lot of times we play around with some virtual backgrounds. Do you need any explanation for your background, James, or is it pretty self-explanatory?
I stationed myself out at 12 at Augusta again this week.
Okay.
I'm in the stands, just waiting for the next group to come through. I think I've got about 364 days to wait. So hopefully that comes sooner rather than later.
So are you still there today then for all of
Yeah.
the media members that got to play? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just going to be sitting here waiting. I'm going to wait until next year's Masters. So I won't move from this spot for the next year.
Wow. Okay. What did Rick Shields do today on the 12th hole?
Rick Shields actually chili dipped one right in the middle of Race Creek.
Okay.
It was crazy. You know, they had the pin front left. Not the Sunday pin that you would have saw yesterday, but they had it front left. And he tried to take it on. He pushed a little bit. It went towards that front bunker, and barely made it halfway across Race Creek. So
Wow. That's a lot of insider information. So we'll have to see if that actually pans out, because he said he's posting a video in the coming days of how his round actually went. So we'll see if that holds true.
I took phone video evidence as well, so just in case.
Okay.
You snuck that on, huh?
I did sneak the phone into Augusta, yeah.
You know, I'm actually live here at the 15th hole still. So right behind me, which way do I have to go? Yeah, right here. I'm trying to figure out which direction is which. Right here, just over my left shoulder, we got Pat Cantlay. He's still putting at the 15th hole. So we'll monitor the situation. I'll let you guys know if he actually hits the putt, but I'm guessing he won't by the time we finish this.
Well, I heard Hovland's been done for about 12 minutes now, so it kind of left Cantlay in the dust. So
yeah, Cantlay was still back in the fairway about 250. Hovland was finishing out for par. So you know, I got it right over my shoulder here. I'll continue to monitor the situation. Like I said, we'll let you guys know if he hits that putt anytime soon. But pretty much a Masters recap. It was a very interesting weekend. Just overall thoughts on the Masters. In my opinion, the best golf tournament in the world. throw it over to Lando first.
What a weekend it was. I mean, obviously, talk of the time was how the live boys were going to do, and surprisingly, I was impressed.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I was a little preoccupied when you asked the question, so I didn't really know what you said, but I figured what I thought of it. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just overall thoughts, very open ended. James, what about you?
It was just another magical week at Augusta. It seems like every year there's kind of got to be something that happens. A couple of years ago it was the 7:30 a.m. start for round 4 when Tiger won. This year it was storms upon storms and trees falling and birdies falling. It was a it was just another crazy week. Even going back to the par 3 contest, Seamus Power back-to-back aces in the par 3 contest.
So we talk about how that brings up, I wasn't planning to talk about this. Is an ace at the par 3 contest at the Masters a Mickey Mouse ace?
Yes, but it's still cool.
Okay. I mean, if you're out making back-to-back aces, it kind of makes me question the integrity of the ace.
Well, I mean, if you've ever watched the par 3 contest, you know that all the pins are put in like bowls that are just asking to be aced. And so, I mean, it's not surprising that there was 5 aces this year and 2 of them were back to back by the same guy, but only third time in history that's happened.
Yeah, he made 2 aces and still managed not to dislocate his ankle. So many would
and also managed not to win.
Yeah, that itself. He probably which 2 holes did he ace? Was it 7 and 8 or was it
8 and 9?
It was 8 and 9. Okay.
Yeah.
So that throws out my theory of they purposely threw it at the end because he knows that the winner of the par 3 contest never wins the Masters. But no, he finished ace.
Yes.
Okay. Solid.
Didn't even have to take the putter out the last 2 holes. And then, I mean, the Scotty thing where his group, they all tried to hit at the same time. And then Scotty dunks it, walks up, and there's 2 balls in the cup. And he's like, what's going on? Apparently, Seamus Power just never went and got his ball from the second ace either. Just left it.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, Scotty walks up and there's 2 balls in the cup. He doesn't know what's going on.
Well, and then the thing that didn't make sense also from when Scotty's group all hit at the same time, I kept seeing the video. Oh, Scotty made an ace, but then there were still 3 golf balls on the green.
Yeah, I think what happens is like the group before lets them hit up and then they putt out while they're walking up around the lake.
Okay. I was confused because there was also someone standing on the green while they all hit. Yeah. I'm like, this is about 90 yards away. There's no way they don't see him.
Yeah, he's just there. He's like
target practice,
blowing off the green or something, and then there's just 3 balls being missiled in at him.
All right, well that's good. I was wondering exactly what happened there, but so the week overall, I don't really know what to make of this Masters or where to rank it because there's a kind of a lot of talk of people saying this is the worst Masters ever and whatever. I think Sunday redeemed it a little bit. But I mean, overall, we haven't had a really exciting finish down the stretch since 2019. That one, and maybe we're still paying the debt for that Masters because that one was so epic and Tiger ended up winning. And, there were the amount of guys that were in the mix that week was crazy. And so maybe we're still paying for it. But so then the next year, DJ was the November Masters. Everything was weird. DJ won by 5, I think. The next year, Hideki, he had a pretty big lead the whole time. It got a little bit close on 15 and 16. We still ended up winning somewhat easily. And then last year, Scotty, I mean, it was never really that close on Sunday after he chipped in for birdie at the 3rd. And then Smith tried to make it a little closer with his birdie at 11, but it really was pretty much in Scotty's hands all day. And then a lot of the same for for this one. When the final round started, was Brooks up by 2? Is that
Brooks was up 2 at the start of the final round. Yeah.
Okay. So at the start of the day, because they were on the 8th green, he was up 4, and
Yeah,
then
he
there's
was
just a
up
quick
4.
there's a quick 2-shot swing.
It was first 3 minutes of golf. There was a 2-shot swing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So which is weird, but ever since Rahm took over the lead, it just kind of felt like that was going to be the outcome. But there was still a lot of exciting storylines, but it just wasn't one of those where coming down the stretch there was any sort of excitement as to who was going to win.
No, I think most of the excitement was instead like, Jordan Spieth was charging. What can Jordan Spieth do? Phil Mickelson was doing Phil Mickelson things. I feel like a lot of the focus was elsewhere. It wasn't really on the lead group at all.
Yes, I would agree with that. And so I guess we got an above average John in the
He is
waiting
here.
room currently.
He is here.
So okay. So while he's joining, what about overall? I guess we can get into it. We'll ask him too, but
He's still loading in.
yeah,
Maybe
Wonder
I
if
think
he's-
he's
if
in
he's
now. He
aware.
just doesn't have camera on. Oh, there he is.
there he is.
What's
Oh
up,
my
John?
goodness,
All right, guys, you guys ready to record?
Yep.
we're already recording, my friend.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and live streaming actually.
Are you serious?
On the tube.
Yep, you're live on YouTube right now.
I
sir.
can't believe you have Zoom Premium, Nick. I'm proud of us for that.
Yeah, you still owe me. But that's all
Oh.
right.
Oh, you what? Money?
Yes.
Landon, dude, what's up?
What's going on?
Feels weird being on the bogey train after riding the birdie train.
Yeah, it does.
I'm sure you
Yeah,
were on the birdie train.
Birdie
Sponsored by
train's
Kings.
goated. Raising Kings.
Right. Noah J, your overall thoughts on the weekend? Like just a quick I guess overview of the Masters from your perspective.
All right, sure. The Masters was great. I just had a great time. I didn't have really anything going on, so I got to sit down and like watch the whole thing on my couch. I went through about half a tub of cookie dough and a couple breakfast sandwiches in the last 2 days. Weirdly, was pulling for Koepka to win. Good old Brooks Cupcake.
I don't find that weird at all, considering you're kind of the live stan here.
I don't know why I didn't want Rahm to win. I like Rahm, but I didn't want him to win. It was great seeing Phil make a late push on Sunday. I was texting like a bunch of my buddies down here, and none of them really watch golf, but they like all saw that Phil was making a run. So they're like, dude, are you watching Phil right now? I'm like, why do you guys care about Phil Mickelson and the Masters? You don't care about golf at all. But so that was kind of fun. But Augusta, just pure as always. I could hear the roars from here, only an hour and a half away. Felt like I was basically there.
Wow.
What a time. What a time.
Our
to be
man,
alive.
our man on the ground.
Yeah. You guys are in the booth.
Yeah. But overall, it was a little bit of a weird rhythm, obviously with multiple stops and starts with the weather. That's something they
Yeah.
can't control. But so yeah,
I would have liked-
it's Masters Week, legendary as always, right?
I would have liked to see Hovland be in the mix a little more.
Well, he
He
was.
He was kind of my guy that I was pulling for on Sunday,
Yeah.
but he didn't really get off to a good start or much of a good finish or much of a good middle of the round either. So not
Yep,
much you can do.
That's kind of how it goes. Yeah.
Not much you can do when
So-
those 3 parts of your round aren't very good.
All right, we've got quite a bit of stuff to get to. So
Really?
just starting with like the weather, the stop and start, which was kind of a
Yeah.
bummer for them to call golf so early on Friday and
Doc
Saturday.
open.
Friday was weird because, well, there was a really short delay. At first, it was like 15 or 20 minutes. Then they were back on the course, and then
Yeah, really.
then they
weird.
delayed it again. And was it because of the wind? Was it because those trees fell that they
I
stopped it for the rest of the day?
There was a thunderstorm that was rolling in.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the trees just happen to have been
Yeah, it
a
was pretty
victim
windy.
of that storm. The winds come up, those trees come down, and then at that point you can't play the round with two trees sitting in front of the tee box. So they had to call it at that point.
Yeah.
My buddy like texted me that night. He's like, or he FaceTimed me. He's like, dude, did you see the trees come down in Augusta? I was like, oh no, what trees? Because there's some important trees out there. Like on
None
the
of the
left side of
important
15.
ones.
There's the left side of 15. He's like, yeah, what I can't remember what he said. He's like, they're left side of 17 or something. I'm like, oh, nobody cares about those trees.
Yeah, it's
they
the
were
left side
just-
of
they were-
17 tee box.
Yeah, nobody,
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
nobody cares about those trees. You burn them all down for all I care.
Except for the 20 people that almost died.
Yeah. Did
Yeah,
you
well,
see
nobody
the
did,
video?
though,
It looked
so-
like there was one person that was standing
Yeah.
and the two big trees fell on either side of this person.
Yeah, this guy was standing like so. It was the big tree, and then it had two different limbs, and
Well,
it
there were
comes
actually
down
three
on.
trees total that
Oh,
fell.
was it? But they
Yeah,
come
3
down on
trees
either
total.
side of him, so he's just standing in the middle
Wait,
of it.
He was between. There was a guy between.
Yeah,
Yes. Like
He was-
unbelievable.
He was trying to get hit. He's like, I'm sick of this. And then he's like,
Yeah.
oh, break, dude.
He's like, if I want to die anywhere,
And they
it's got to
missed.
be Augusta.
They missed me. Yeah.
imagine being a patron and that happening, and you get the pride of just running out and being on the 17 tee box as the trees are
Yeah.
falling,
Yeah.
and then like
somebody probably
the
cut the tree
security-
down. Yeah. so you could,
Security
like, run
comes out, and then they're like, "All right, you stepped on the tee box, you're off the course."
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, what if they got
Yeah.
in trouble for like going inside the ropes?
For saving
They were
your
running
own
for their
life.
lives. Yeah. But it was just really unfortunate because the broadcast windows are kind of a sticking point. They're a little bit tough on Thursday
Yeah.
and Friday. If you're not on the app, watching the featured group or different featured hole coverage, the ESPN coverage doesn't start till 3 Eastern. And so on Friday, it was not very long after the coverage actually started. So you kind of wait
No.
all day for the coverage to start, and then it finally starts, and then they're done for the day.
Yeah. I'm
And-
kind of a featured group guy. So it didn't really bother me, but I did think about that. Like
Yeah.
on like Saturday or one of the days. I was like, this is
Well,
kinda
and it
weird.
was even worse on Saturday. So because it was still the second round, ESPN carried the rest of it that they still had to finish Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And but then in the gap from there to the third round, they went off earlier than they were planning on, and they went split tees threesomes for the third round.
Uh-huh.
And I think they started, long story short, the TV broadcast window wasn't going to start until about 2 hours after the leaders started, and the leaders weren't a featured group. So there was this whole
On Saturday.
yeah, there was
Saturday.
about
Yeah,
there was
that's-
at least an hour and a half or 2 hours where there wasn't. I mean, you could watch them on holes 4, 5, and
That's
6
weird.
that stream, but you actually couldn't see the final group's shots live, which
Yeah.
was a huge L.
The broadcast only really makes sense on Sunday because like it started 30 minutes before the leaders teed off on Sunday. I guess it kind of
Yeah.
makes sense for a Saturday too, but it doesn't make any sense on the Thursday, Friday. It's just kind of luck of the draw who you get to watch.
Well, yeah, but then it hones in on the players that are playing well rather
Yeah.
than the featured groups you
I
could
don't-
have.
I don't know if I would be interested to see like what percentage of people were just watching Tiger's group versus what percentage were
Yeah.
watching the broadcast.
Yeah, which was another thing. So
Because you had
and
to
then of course
yeah.
again on Saturday. So you're waiting these 2 hours for the TV broadcast to finally start, so you can see all of the relevant action and the final group, and then 15 minutes into the broadcast window, they call it for the day,
Yeah.
which was extremely tough. But I get why they have Tiger as a featured group, but really on Saturday for Tiger to have made the cut on the number, for him, Thomas Peters and Sung Jae Im to be featured going off the 10th hole and not have Koepka, Rahm, and Bennett featured was a tough look, in my opinion.
All right, I get what you're saying, but is there a tournament that just in general has better coverage than the Masters, especially when it comes to what you can get for free just online?
Well, I mean, you're definitely right. The app is phenomenal,
And
but
you
the
can just Google
broadcast
that,
windows, the broadcast windows on TV are actually like first 3 days they were very frustrating.
Yeah, I wish they had more. They definitely have the best time they can. Like afternoon on the weekend is the best, but just in general, like nothing compares to the watchability of the Masters on the app, online.
And I know there are
It's
probably
phenomenal.
I mean, there's probably contracts involved, I'm sure, but the fact that on Thursday and Friday, I mean, the entire morning until the broadcast starts, I mean, you've got Golf Channel doing live from the Masters, talking about the Masters, but they can't actually show it. Like
Yeah,
Golf Channel, they've
but-
got nothing else to do. Why can't Golf Channel show the morning rounds on Thursday and Friday?
I think they just don't have enough. I mean, maybe they do. They don't have enough crew, but they could get enough crew. They have the
if
money for it.
I'm
They have the money
sure
for
they
it.
could make
but,
it work.
But also you can like I had featured groups up. Then I also had 4, 5, and 6, so I could catch when the leaders went through 4, 5, and 6. And then I opened up Amen Corner too for the same thing. So you have 6 of the 13 holes. You have 6 of the 13 total holes on Augusta that you can watch. 6 of the total.
No,
18.
Don't forget about
there's
15 and 16.
8. Yeah, there's 8 because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
15 and 16 as well. Yeah.
bad.
I mean,
good.
first 2 rounds, I've got
Oh, yeah,
quad
see?
screen up the whole time.
Anyway,
Yeah.
going back to what you said, Nick, if you're going to be that big of a hardo that you want to watch it on Golf Channel, just pull up the stream.
No,
The
but there's
stream.
not a broadcast stream. That's what I mean. Is you've got the featured groups and the featured holes.
Jinx. Jinx.
That's the same as every single week.
James, we just have to understand that Nick will never be satisfied with any type of golf coverage ever.
Honestly,
That's not
like at
true.
least I didn't have to.
Like I
didn't have to deal with the cock this week.
I didn't
My
think we would be.
goodness.
I didn't think we would be criticizing the Masters coverage. It is the best of any tournament ever, hands down.
Okay,
I can't believe
it's
I
by
can't believe
far.
you're criticizing.
It's
it.
true. It's true. But Saturday, the fact
what do
that
you want? The move?
their broadcast window on Saturday was pathetic. I
What they can't control
yeah,
that.
that just
Yes,
happened though.
Augusta National, CBS, I guarantee you CBS would have rearranged it. That's Augusta National's decision.
I don't think it is Augusta National's
It
decision.
is. It is. Everything that comes to the broadcast is Augusta National's decision.
Oh, you mean
And CBS was commentating but taping it the entire time, like the whole beginning of the 3rd round so they were commentating and taping it as if it was live coverage, but they weren't actually showing it because they knew there was probably going to be a delay later, and they just show it then. It's like what are we doing? But anyway,
Yeah, they have a lot to work on. No, I agree. They need to figure it out down there.
but for years and years, it has been by far and away the best
Yeah.
as far the majors, obviously, and it is the
Usually-
best coverage.
Usually I find myself on my computer like typing in Reddit golf streams .free not really that illegal .edu, and then I will find like this really suspicious website to watch golf on, but I don't have to do that for the Masters.
And then you got to buy a protection plan to get the viruses off your
Yeah.
computer.
I can't tell you how many viruses they've saved me from. Like,
Just get ESPN Plus and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
ESPN Plus is the move.
My only
You
stream
get the
service
Hulu
is-
bundle. You'll
No,
get
I have
Disney Plus
Prime.
too.
I have Prime. Oh, I have Disney too. Wait, how much is ESPN Plus?
Do you have Disney Plus?
Yeah, I pay the yearly subscription, which is like
Doesn't
100 and-
ESPN come with it?
which is
Yeah,
like
it
100
does.
No, there was
ESPN
that
Plus.
there was
No
that
way.
one deal that was like Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu.
Disney.
For 15 a month.
Yeah.
maybe-
Wait, is there a yearly rate? Do you guys
I
have
don't
it?
know.
I don't know.
I have it.
Disney
have
Plus
it.
bundle.
My fiance pays for it. I don't pay
Disney
for it.
bundle stream Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN. Okay, so I pay for Disney Plus, and it's $10 a month. Right?
Yeah, but then you've got ESPN Plus, and then you've got the CW.
Wow.
Like, how much golf can you keep up with?
I could upgrade to ESPN
Realistically.
Plus for $3 more a month. That's like
That's a
oh, that's-
no-brainer. If you're
that's
going to watch the PGA Tour live coverage.
that's a coffee at
Well, ESPN Plus,
McDonald's.
like I use it more for other things that's not the PGA Tour. Like you can just find random sporting events on there.
I use it exclusively. There's nothing else I really use it for.
I watch it for like college football sometimes, like FCS football, Formula One, obviously, kind
Ooh.
of sometimes on ESPN Plus. Maybe they should put Live on ESPN Plus. I'd watch a lot more of it.
My roommate
I
has
would not.
ESPN Plus though, so I don't really need to buy
There
it.
you go.
Well, you could tell your roommate to stop
ES
buying it, and then you just get the bundle.
Why would I do that? That makes no sense.
Whatever.
Still paid for it.
Can we talk about the actual Masters now?
Yeah. Yeah. Jon Rahm wins the Masters. What I mean,
Jonathan.
he now has 2 majors. It kind of seems like he's been one of those guys for quite a while that is at the top of the game, the current game, in terms of, for a while there, it was sort of a weird scenario where he was one of the best players in the world. He would contend all the time, but he was just not really finishing the deal quite often. But he got it done at the 2021 US Open, and he now has his second major. He's got a green jacket. He's actually, shockingly, the first European to win the Masters and the US Open, which is a pretty crazy thing that I heard. I couldn't believe that.
Like to win both of them just in general, or
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to
Wow.
verify this because I didn't believe it when I first heard it, but
wow. That's a crazy stat.
I know.
That kind of messes with my head a little bit.
The first European to win the Masters and the US Open. Kind of crazy, isn't it?
I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, so and he's got 4 wins, not even just this season, but this calendar year. 4 wins. He won Century Tournament of Champions, he won the American Express, he won at Riviera, and now the Masters. And he was, I mean, for someone who's a top 3 player in the world, relatively speaking, he was coming in a little bit under the radar just because his last month hadn't been as prolific as the prior months. But it was, yeah, I mean, he's just obviously a dominant force, and we can be sort of prisoner of the moment and say, well, yeah, he's clearly the best player in the world. But then, after the players, we were saying the same thing about Scotty, but it's becoming very, very clear that it's those two, and then a pretty large gap, and then Rory, and then a smaller gap, and then everyone else.
Yeah. I mean, as you kind of point out, we talked about it last week on the show when it was just us. When we were kind of talking about picks, and we didn't really talk about Jon Rahm a whole lot. Because like you mentioned, not really been that great leading up to it. Didn't make it out of his group at the match play. I believe, didn't he withdraw from the players too?
Yeah.
So there wasn't really a whole lot to go off with him. And I am mad at myself because I fell victim to it. I was like, I haven't seen enough of him. He hasn't been playing well. I'm not going to pick him in fantasy. And then he goes out and wins the whole darn thing, and I don't win in fantasy, which is a shame. But, Jon Rahm is that guy. I kind of took some stats from the broadcast yesterday, just kind of some little tidbits. 4th Spanish Masters champion, which is the most of any country
4.
in
He's the 4th?
Yep.
outside of the United States. He's the 4th different Spaniard to win the Masters.
Sebi, Jose. Oh, Sergio.
Sergio.
Sure. Yeah.
Most of any international country, which is
I see how you'd forget about Sergio. I mean, he's sort of off in Wonderland these days, and he wasn't there to congratulate Jon Rahm, which was a
Was
little bit
he really?
surprising.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
I guess he did miss the cut, I think. So
and
maybe it makes sense.
I don't want to hammer home the whole 4-putt on the first hole, yada yada, because there's 71 more holes. But if we would have had our Friday night show that we planned on doing, one of the things I wanted to mention is, yes, he did 4-putt the first hole and then proceeded to still shoot 7 under.
No, that was incredible.
Which is outstanding golf from Jon Rahm. He's been playing very well. Also Caddy Bib 49, 4-9, Sevy's birthday. Second Spaniard to win the Masters on Sevy's birthday in the last 2 attempts. I mean,
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if the birthday is April 9th, it's a pretty good chance Masters Sunday is gonna fall on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
But-
I wish I would have. We talked last week about Speed's won on Easter Sunday the last 2 years. I wish I would have known the whole last time the Masters Sunday was on Sevy's birthday. Sergio won.
Those
Like-
numbers don't mean anything.
So in
just trying to-
2027, when the Masters is again on Sevy's birthday, you can bet that I'm picking whatever the top Spaniard in the field is that week.
Are you saying you're not superstitious, Nick?
I'm a little stitious.
I think, yeah, I would say you're a little stitious. I would
Just a
say you're
little bit
I would say
stitious.
you're averagely stitious.
What do I
Hey.
do that's superstitious?
You're stealing Lando's thunder. Lando, what were your thoughts on John Rahm this week?
Yeah, Nick. Gosh, dude.
I loved it. I'm a big Rambo fan. With my shortened backswing, my other golf friend group, my is John Rahm, so I'm always going to be there for him.
You have another friend group?
Surprising, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was actually John Rahm, when we look at the date here, November 8th, 2013 on Twitter. He posted a
The vault.
fortune cookie little thing
This is from the archives.
from Panda Express. Your talents will be recognized and rewarded. And he said, "I'm gonna win the
Suitably
Masters."
rewarded.
Sorry.
He said, I'm going to win the Masters.
Yeah. I think where it said suitably, I think that's kind of why he was getting the green jacket
Okay.
play on
There you
words.
go. There you
from
go.
that. But yeah, and he
I'll
said, I'm
learn
gonna win the
twice.
Masters.
Yeah, that's what his comment was.
classy.
Then yeah.
Guess what
So-
he did? He won the Masters.
So Landon, do you just watch John Rahm and you just identify with him because you have that
Yeah,
short
I mean-
backswing and you're just hitting it out there 340?
Well, I mean, not really even the distance. More just the backswing is the only comparable
Oh,
thing.
okay. Okay.
Many
I mean-
people forget that John Rahm was born with a club foot.
Really?
I wouldn't say people forget that, they just don't know it. Or
Yeah.
That isn't really a
That's-
questionable fact.
That's well, it's an ongoing joke that my step grandpa, every single time John Rahm is on TV, will just be like, "Oh yeah, he was born with a club foot," and like just every single time. So it's
well, he was.
it turns into a people forget that kind of fact.
fact. Landon, can I just say your mic sounds really good?
It's actually was my second option tonight. I couldn't get my
This is
my
your
other
B tier
podcast
mic?
mic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. This is his B tier. Well, plan A was the AirPods.
And then I'm
Nice.
like,
and
I got my mic, so I should try using my
Yeah, might as
Shure
well.
SM7B, and then I couldn't get my drivers to work on my work computer. So,
So you're on a condenser and not your vocals mic?
I'm actually on just like it's called a Shure SV5 or something like that. It's a little one you plug into your phone.
I've never heard of that. It must be dust.
Yeah,
Another
kinda is.
superstition too. John Rahm's first child is named Kepa, and he
Oh,
defeated Brooks Koepka to win the Masters.
I don't
You know,
want to
I
say
actually-
that's a stretch, but
well, here's the thing. I actually pointed this out to my family yesterday. It was either the 21 or the 22 Masters. I think it might have been 21, like just after Kepa was born, or last year. I can't remember, but one of the years, Ian Baker Finch was talking about it during the Masters broadcast, and he misspoke and he said Rahm's new baby named Kepka, even though it was
Oof.
Kepa, and it was just foreshadowing because yesterday John Rahm,
who's your daddy? That was
he's
huge
now
moment.
Kepka's father.
Yep, he adopted him.
So you could say it's all scripted, right?
He wrote the script.
I gotta find that clip where he
Speaking-
says,
Okay, speaking of John Rahm, I was listening to a different podcast today, and they kind of brought this up. What are our thoughts on the green jacket ceremony and just like everything that happens after? Because it's really weird to me now that I kind of hear it and think about it, that, they're in Butler cabin and they put the jacket on, and then after he has to take the jacket off and give
Yeah.
it back to Scotty to go walk outside to the 18th green and then do the whole thing over again.
They just need to do it outside.
Yeah.
I
Inside
kind of agree
Butler
with
cabin
that.
is just so awkward. Do you guys see Sam Bennett awkwardly?
He just dipped. I didn't
Yeah,
even realize
he's
that. I
like,
saw a
yeah.
video of that today. He just dipped.
That's not,
It's just so awkward. You just need
It's
to
like,
do it
all right,
outside.
I'm not needed anymore. Yeah, it's a tradition. It's never gonna go away. But yeah, I totally think the only one that's needed is the outside one.
And like you never
I
even
don't-
see the outside one. It's always the Butler. Or no, it's the opposite way around. Like all
Yeah,
the photos.
no,
All the
on
pictures are outside.
CBS,
Yeah. Yeah. It's always
On,
outside.
on the CBS broadcast, you see Butler cabin, but then the other one
Yeah.
is sort of one you maybe see like on Golf Channel later. I feel
Well,
like,
and like in years prior or years in the future, like we see the picture of Adam Scott putting the jacket on Bubba Watson on
Yeah.
the 18th green, not
All
in
the-
Butler cabin.
All the pictures are outside.
So what's the
All of
point of the Butler cabin thing? Just for the broadcast and an interview?
I don't know. You tell me. Did anyone see
kinda
a picture of the loafers that Scotty was wearing?
it. No.
They were
No.
a tough scene. They look like they were about three sizes
After-
too small.
I-
and they-
Afterwards,
yeah, when he was during the green jacket ceremonies, I
Yeah.
guess there were multiple.
I also thought it was
probably pretty
weird.
comfortable.
After John Rahm finished and he meets Jordan Spieth walking by, and Jordan Spieth's like just still wearing his golf fit. Like, dude, you're a Masters champion. Get done with your round and go put your green jacket on and look like a boss.
Yeah, kind of a flex, like when Tiger won, when the last like handshake before he went in to sign his card was Bernhard, and Bernhard just has the jacket on.
Yeah, like why if you're on Augusta's grounds and you're a Masters champion, like Tiger's last Masters, he should just play the Masters in his green jacket.
You know, allegedly Spieth only has one Masters. I mean, he's got to have like 2 or 3 by now, right? I keep hearing he only has one.
You'd think he should have like 7.
Anything else on Rahm? I mean, statistically, he's basically a top 15 player in every category. He's great off the tee. He's great with the irons. He's that's probably been one of his biggest areas of improvement this year. He's great around the
Statistically-
greens, and he's a good putter. There's-
Statistically, he's a top 10 player of all time.
well, easy. He has the potential, you could say. He's
No,
not
he's a
there
top
yet.
10 player of all time.
What one crazy stat about John Rahm is that he has more professional wins than missed cuts.
Top 10 player of all time.
One thing I will give
That's
him props to.
That's a crazy take, actually. You think right now he has a top 10 career of all time?
Yeah,
That is a truly insane take.
Yeah.
I must say.
I do.
That is pretty out there. But
So I just want to make sure we're clear. It's not that he has the potential to be an all-time.
No,
a-
I think
a
if
top
his
10
if his
all-time.
career just ended right now, I think he's a top 10 player of all time.
Whoa.
That is truly insane.
Yeah.
Flaming
should-
hot.
Should we just move on from that, or should we name 10 players
No,
that have had better careers?
I can name 100
I've got-
maybe.
100.
That's absurd. Top 10, dude? Jenks. Come on.
Well, yeah, you obviously got Tiger.
Okay.
okay.
All right. Yeah. Let me hear what you
You
got.
got Tiger, Jack, Arnie.
Okay.
Phil,
You've got Phil. You've got Gary
Tom
Player.
Watson, Gary
Tom
Player,
Watson.
All right.
Brooks Koepka, Rory
No,
McIlroy.
no, not Brooks.
Yes.
No, not Brooks.
Really?
Really.
You gotta give it to Rory.
Rory, yeah. I put
Bobby-
Rahm above Brooks.
Bobby Jones, Sam Snead.
Seve?
Sam Snead.
Seve-
Sam Snead, half of Sam Snead's tour wins were
Don't even.
one versus
Okay.
one 9-hole
I
matches.
agree, but then he still has
Ben
41.
Hogan? Ben Hogan, Bob Jones, of course.
Bobby Jones,
Bobby Jones was never a pro. Doesn't count.
old Tom Morris.
What? It's the greatest players.
It doesn't count. He wasn't
Bobby
pro.
Jones might be the greatest player ever.
No, that's
He
that's
literally
reserved
might be.
for Phil Mickelson.
Wow. I think we hit 10. Greg Norman.
Byron Nelson. I mean, come on. There's just the list. Goes on and on.
I think John Rahm is better than all of them.
Harry
I think John
Varden.
Rahm's no, that guy's garbage. He couldn't even beat
What?
Shia LaBeouf.
Francis Ouimet. Well, yeah, that's actually true. That is
Francis
true.
Ouimet's top
That is
10
true.
too. Dude.
That is true. Harry Varden is kind of garbo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen
okay.
Shia swing. He's not
all
that
right.
great.
Okay, I'll retract. I'll go top 20 all time.
That's probably even. That's all right. We could move on from that. Maybe that's another episode. Do we talk about Kepka or Phil first?
Well, let's talk about Liv, Kepka and Phil.
Okay. Overall
Um,
thoughts on the Live Boys. That was one of the, you mentioned it earlier, Landon. That was kind of your pressing overall thought of the Masters. What, like, elaborate on that a little bit. What were your expectations going into it, and now that it has happened, what stood out?
Well, right away, I mean, I obviously wanted all the live guys to miss the cut,
Ooh.
but I will say it did add a lot more entertainment value on Sunday, seeing Phil Rise. It was good to see him, 52 years old.
Something like that, allegedly.
Tied his
Allegedly.
allegedly tied his lowest score that he shot.
That was crazy, actually.
it was his
Phil
lowest
hadn't
ever
shot.
final round.
Yeah, and I think he tied his lowest round ever at Augusta, and he had not shot that low in a Masters since before Tiger Woods turned pro.
And it was lowest round of the round too.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was. I'm obviously still not a huge fan of Live by any means, but it was good. It added another contest within the Masters itself. You have your competition to see who wins, but also it felt like it was kind of a PGA Live deal for me anyways. But
Here's an interesting stat for you guys. All right. So 16 out of the 18 live players made the cut, right? That boils down to
That's not true.
pretty sure it's true.
I think it was 12
Someone
out of
fact
the
check
18.
me.
Well, Kevin now
12.
withdrew. Louis withdrew.
Maybe
So that's
16
two
of the
already.
18. 16 of the
Bubba.
18 finished.
Bubba didn't make
Kokrak,
cut.
Kokrak miscut. Sergio miscut.
Bryson miscut.
Bryson miscut.
All right, guys,
Bubba.
It was
how about
12
we-
of the 18.
Okay, how about we don't fact check me next time and just go
Okay.
with my stats?
Okay. Oh, wow.
So,
16
all
of
right,
the
now
18. made the
now I need to
cut.
rewrite. Now I need to rewrite.
Wow,
these stats.
considering
Okay,
two withdrew
so,
and one
okay.
was Bryson.
Okay, hear me out. So there was what? How many players in the field this year? Like 95 ish.
I think it started
Like
with 88.
84.
Okay. Started with 88, couple
80,
withdrawals.
okay, so 88, couple withdraws, and then a couple AMs. So like non-live guys, that's about 80 minus 18. So you're looking at 62. And how many of those guys made the cut?
Just stop talking.
Right?
Just
I'm just
stop
trying to boil the
talking.
numbers down.
Considering
I
Sandy
think-
Lyle and Larry Mize and Jose Maria Olazabal count as players in the field that
Interesting,
aren't
though.
live guys.
Hey, look, I'm not
DJ Singh.
I'm not trying to write a narrative right now, but I'm just saying that these are the stats.
Here's the thing. Coming into the tournament, the quote unquote stats or the numbers said that there
Limited
should be
car
about
facts.
11 and a half live guys that would make the cut, and 12 made the cut. So as overall, as far as looking at
they
the
blew
cut,
it out of the water.
you
is
could
what you're saying.
you could say they slightly overperformed. So
Yeah,
I mean,
you wanna talk
overall,
about this?
All I
overall,
heard is
thought it was a good week
overperformed.
for the live
Bubba-
players.
Bubba beat Jose Maria Olazabal by 1
Crushed him.
Bubba
He
is
lost.
terrible.
to 5-6 amateurs that also missed the cut.
I don't
Plus
think-
Sam Bennett.
I don't think Bubba
made
like
the cut.
played last year. Wasn't he like
The
hurt?
range
Kokrak
goats are a
Lost
lost to a
property
bunch of
franchise.
amateurs. Garcia lost to a bunch of amateurs. Like
Bubba's a golf coach now.
they
He
lost to
doesn't even
VJ
play.
Singh.
VJ Singh was playing in
V-
Hoka's.
VJ's nice. Fred Couples is nice. How about him?
Yeah, he was calling the live guys clowns. So how do you? I don't know how.
Well, they are.
Oh, okay.
I want to
right.
say you guys have gone on, or Lando kind of talked about this whole PGA versus Live battle. I don't think that was even an issue. I don't know very many people that were really concerned with like the PGA versus Live. Like, I don't think a whole lot of the players really cared. Besides maybe Greg
Realistically-
Norman.
Realistically, it was fun to see everyone back together
Yes,
playing.
I think
Yeah,
everyone was
That's
in
kind
that
of the
boat.
biggest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Excited to see DJ back, see Phil back, see Kepka back.
I'm
see
sitting
Cam
there.
Smith again.
I'm not, rooting against Kepka at all. I thought it would have been really cool if Kepka came back and, won the Masters. I would have been really excited for that. The only person that I just didn't want to win was Patrick Reed because, F that guy. But
Do you guys
Pretty-
hear his
pretty
roaring
awesome.
applause on his birdie putt on the 12th?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
It was- it
Speaking
was-
of, when we were talking about Phil, that birdie putt he made on the last hole, I don't know if it was just me, but I was like, it seemed like the reaction was a little bit muted. Like for a birdie putt on the last hole to shoot 65 and move into solo second, like you would expect, especially it being Phil Mickelson, you would have expected them to kind of erupt. And it seemed like it was a little bit underwhelming as far as the patron reaction around the 18th green. I don't know if you guys noticed that or
I
heard
didn't see
that
it.
or thought the complete opposite.
I didn't see it. Maybe there just wasn't that many people there because he finished pretty early.
I also want to play this game with Phil a little. People forget, or people will forget. Phil loses by 4. At one point in round 3, he has it to 6 under. Proceeds
Yeah,
to
then he-
bogey 5 of his last 11
Yeah.
to drop to 1 under, and then still
Oh.
finishes at 8.
I wonder how far he got before the weather delay, because when it was pouring rain, I mean, that was obviously it makes kind of fun TV because it's just crazy. People are making doubles everywhere. But if you're out there on the course, like that is absolutely miserable golf conditions.
I think he
Like,
got to
Cameron Young was hitting his drives like 235, and he's the longest player in the field.
I think he got to like 11 or 12.
People were coming up short on 18 with 3-wood for their second
Yeah,
shot.
It
I
was
mean, that was
insane.
horrendous conditions.
and
Absolutely
I'm-
terrible. And John Rahm had the bad side of the draw, and he won by 4.
I saw this great tweet that was like, people are coming up short with 3-woods on 18, and this is what we want to turn golf back into. We want to take distance away.
Roll
So
the ball
that-
back, baby.
This is what golf looks like, and it's stupid. And yes, you pointed out John Rahm was on the bad side of the draw, which they're saying was costing people 2.5 shots on average. It was about a 2.5 shot difference between good side, bad side, and he won by 4.
Yeah. So by far and away, the best player in the field won the tournament this week, which you
Yes,
always love to
100%.
see.
Yeah.
I don't think I had anything else on Phil. Let me check my notes quick. No.
I
Well,
talking
it is
ab-
just here. Is this the time for you to gloat about your little Phil comment?
Yeah,
last
I
week?
will gloat. Last week, if you didn't listen, or if you did listen, you just want to remember, I did tell Nick, don't be surprised
If you
Phil,
didn't listen, you're dead to us. But anyway,
I said, don't be surprised if Phil, has a bad week or has a good week. Or it was something along it was like,
you
don't be
said
surprised if,
never count out Phil. Something like
yeah,
that.
it was like, don't be surprised if Phil misses the cut by 50, but also don't be surprised if he finishes like 3rd. And here he comes and he finishes tied 2nd. So, never count out
So
Phil.
you're a genius.
Never count out Phil.
I would. I'll give that one to you because I completely wrote it off as a possibility, and I would, under certain circumstances, apologize for that take. But how? I mean, I was just going off of he hasn't played good golf. Ever.
I
Like, in the
know he
past
hasn't.
How
He
many
hasn't
years?
played.
He has had the past, 3-4 years. He hasn't played. I mean, aside from the Champions Tour, he hasn't played good golf except for twice.
He has
And one
played.
was when he won the PGA Championship. One was when he
Yes.
got second at the Masters.
Yes.
Other than that, they're completely out of nowhere
He's-
performances.
He can't even finish top half of the field on the live events.
Yeah.
But it's just, for some reason, it's something about Phil. When the lights shine and there's stocks that need to be traded, he's always there.
That man he's just a sociopath.
He's wild. Did we talk about Brooks? I did have a couple things I wanted to talk about Brooks.
Yeah, let's talk about
Okay.
Brooks.
I also have a few things on Brooks too, whenever it's
First-
my turn. But if you want to go first, Jengs,
First of
go
all,
for it.
I did point out last week, I thought 69 was going to be his number for the caddy bib. I thought it was going to be magical. If he would have won with the caddy bib 69, it would have been a living meme forever.
Well, and that was his caption was just nice after
Yeah.
was that the second, I think it was after the second round.
Yeah. I have in here, it was a simple Brooks not used to 72 holes ? Live, play 54. I don't think that's the issue.
No,
I do not
that's
think that
a
was the
factor.
issue.
That's
I
not a
think the
factor.
issue is the long break Saturday, Sunday. Between when he finished his round on Friday and teed off on whatever, he played 6 holes
Yeah,
on
that is
Saturday.
true.
He played
That is true.
6
Yeah,
holes.
because he played morning wave on Friday, so he was in at 12 under.
He was
And everyone
done.
else is out dealing with the conditions, and he's just sitting at 12 under. So he
Yeah,
didn't
he was
play
done.
until then. The final group went out on Saturday, and they played 7 holes, or yeah, almost 7 full holes.
He did not play a lot of golf. And so I think, it's the weather that got to him. And pair that, he's a
That could
fast
be-
player.
There
and
could be
he's
something
got-
to
Yeah,
that.
Patrick
That's-
can't play sitting in front of him playing
Oh, we'll
so
get to that.
god awfully slow.
We'll get there.
But
Well, and with Brooks' history with Bryson and slow play, it definitely has a
100%.
factor in it.
But it was really good to see Brooks kind of back. They pointed out 2021, he's reading putts like a tripod. He's got one leg stuck out way out to the left because he just had knee surgery. Then he has surgery on the other knee. And now, he looks back. And that's good to see. I like to see Brooks playing well.
Landon or Noah, do either of you have any Brooks comments before I throw
Well,
mine against the wall?
I wasn't a huge fan of Brooks, frankly. Haven't been for a while, but he kind of grew on me this weekend. I wouldn't have been opposed if he would have pulled out the W, but
Did you watch the Netflix documentary?
yeah.
Okay.
That's
That's kind of like it's sort of an underlying storyline for Brooks now. Like just that
Mhm.
the fact that people have seen that side of it, just how
Yeah.
much he was lacking in self-belief at that point.
Yeah.
But anyway, continue.
I did see a couple. Oh, sorry, Lando. Go ahead.
Well, I'm trying to remember the stat. I don't have it with me right now. So I believe it was 9 out of the 11 people who led by 5 strokes after 36 holes. Won.
Was he really up by 5 after 36?
It was either 4
No.
or 5.
Well, it was
But-
after he got done with 36 because
Yeah,
Rahm ended
exactly.
up
Yeah.
finishing at 10 under.
But the 2 other times that the people didn't win with that lead was Greg Norman twice.
Yeah, that was actually a funny stat. I did see that.
He's also, that's his first ever non-converted 54-hole lead in a major.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked
Huh.
seeing him play well. He was doing really well. Obviously, got some tough breaks here and there with the weather and the pace of play, but he's playing good golf too, So
Yeah.
that's all I really
Well,
have on Brooks.
I think Brooks is back. Brooks is back to being Brooks. I mean, first 2 rounds, he was absolutely dialed. Like his iron game was phenomenal.
He was so dialed.
The second round, I mean, he missed a couple good looks at birdie and eagle. He could have easily been 15 under after the second round. So I mean, he was playing really, really good golf. So it's just interesting to have him back in the mix. Another thing, I mean, the attire was horrendous. That first round, that lime green shirt with the yellow shoes was truly putrid.
It's the
And then he
it's-
just wore
it's the
he wore the yellow
shoes.
shoes,
Yeah.
the yellow shoes every round. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know who told him that those looked good.
Oh my
But
gosh. He used to burn
was-
those.
That was rough.
He used to burn those and then burn the ashes
But
after
I
they're
feel
done.
the thing
burned.
about Brooks, I feel like he knows they look terrible, but he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's like, he probably just
They're-
is doing it
they're-
because
probably-
they look terrible.
They're probably really comfortable.
um
They're
But
probably
then-
they're probably Skechers Go Golfs.
yeah, and so then a couple more points on Brooks. The narrative is that okay, well now he's healthy, and so now he can just finally play good golf. Like, the past couple of years it's been 100% health related. But like you were mentioning, Jengs, a lot of those, when he was reading putts like with one leg sticking out straight, his right leg because his knee was messed up. I mean, that was 2021. He actually contended in a couple majors that year. But last year, 2022, he was reading putts fine. I mean, he appeared to be healthy. He was saying he was healthy. Whether or not that was true, I guess, could be up for debate. But it was last year that he struggled the most. So I'm wondering how much of it really was like just health that people are saying is like, oh well, now he's finally healthy, or whether he really just was struggling that much with his golf game last year.
I'm sure
Because
the mental side of it too. Maybe he's improved a
Yeah.
good bit of that side of the game.
and on the Full Swing documentary, they talked about his health for sure, but it sort of seemed more like, okay, he's healthy now, but he just like isn't playing well anymore.
I thought it
Mhm.
was.
But-
I thought it was his putting. I thought that was kind of like
And
what
that
had been
was
going
a
on with him for a couple years.
that was a big part of it too. Yeah, he's like on the putting green, he can't make anything.
Yeah, because he was
And,
like when he was winning those majors, he was like number one or consistently top 10 in putting, like for a
Yeah,
year.
it seemed like he just always made the putts he had to.
Exactly, and that's what he
Like-
looked like in the first couple rounds.
And the
too.
first couple
he was
rounds,
making
he was
everything
doing
from
that.
4 or 5, the big ones that keep your round going.
Yeah, he was looking like
Everything.
the Brooks from the majors in
Exactly.
2018 and 19.
I
That's
think-
what he was looking
yeah,
like.
I think
And,
that was it.
So, I mean, so whatever it was, whether it was health or just his golf game or both, I mean, first 2 rounds, like you just said, he totally looked like Brooks is back. But then it brings me to my other point with the last couple rounds when he struggled a little bit. He it seems like he maybe hasn't quite been the same ever since the 2019 PGA at Bethpage. He still went on to win, but on that back 9, he had 4 straight bogeys, which is actually where we get our little soundbite from in the intro.
Shout out to
when Bro-
Brooks for that.
Yeah, shout out to Brooks for that. And he nearly blew a 7-shot lead that day. He didn't. He ended up winning, but I mean, people that were there, and if you watch the broadcast, he was visibly shook on that back 9. He truly was scared that he was going to blow that massive lead, and he ended up winning. But he hasn't won a major since, and his Sunday performances when he has been in the mix have not been great. So
Yeah, look at the 2021 PGA.
2021 PGA, the 2020 PGA too.
Yeah,
At Harding Park, he was in the mix and he was talking a huge game before the final round. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is what I do. I win majors." And then he went out and played horrible in the final round. So I don't know. It's something to 2019 US Open, when he was in the mix with Gary Woodland. 2019 Open at Portrush. He didn't have a great final round. I mean, so is this something? I don't know, or is it just the law of averages kind of balancing out, from when the first it was like, those 4 majors that he won, it was like every time he was in the mix, he just won. And now the law of averages is kind of coming back to him, or if there really is something mentally in the final round that, has been there. So I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to watch.
it'll be something that will be fun to watch kind of the rest of the year. Because I mean, when Brooks was playing well in majors back in 2018, 2019, he was contending in every single one. He was always at
Yeah.
the top of the leaderboard.
He seemed
So-
unstoppable.
Yeah, when it comes around to the PGA and the US Open and the Open this year, I want to see that Brooks back, and I want to see him in contention. Actually, close one out this year.
I fully expect him to be involved at the next 3 majors this year.
What do we got for majors? PGA is
PGA is at Oak Hill.
yep.
Jason Duffner won there in 2013.
Duff Daddy.
Ooh, Duff.
And the US Open is at LA Country Club.
Yikes.
I know very little about that course. I'm
Never
actually
heard
really
of it.
excited for that
I
one.
bet it's in LA.
Yes, it is
I
in
bet
LA. I'm actually going to be playing it. So
I bet
we'll
it's
see.
Country Club as well.
Yes. I'll tell you guys what it looks like when I play in it. So
I thought Caleb
Um,
was playing it.
well, why not both?
Well, all right.
And the Open is at Royal Liverpool. Last time it was there was 2014 when Rory won. So
Oh,
that's
Rory.
my Brooks takes. Is Noah, do you have anything on Brooks that we haven't talked or covered yet?
Not really. No, I was pulling for him.
Brooks Koepka.
Let's see. Do we have
What do you guys?
Should
What
we-
do you guys think about? What do you guys think about his win in like on Live Golf? Like, what do you guys think about a win on Live? Does it mean anything to you?
well, it didn't before. Well, I shouldn't say it meant nothing. Like the fact that he was playing really well at Live Orlando, I mean, ended up winning it. Like it kind of was like I don't the sensors were detecting something like in my because I for a little while I did have Brooks in my fantasy lineup when I was,
Yeah.
I ended up taking him out before the week, but I mean he was on my radar. He wasn't like a top 5 favorite in my head, but I would say it put him on my radar, like towards the edge of the radar, but it put him on my radar, and he would not have
Yeah.
been there if he didn't play well at that event.
Sure. Yeah, just
So
curious to see that.
I think
Ano-
it did mean something to me.
Yeah. Another Masters moment that maybe you guys talked about, but I didn't hear was when was it Siwoo's wife was caddying for him in the par 3?
Yeah,
Is that what I'm
she's a
thinking
pro
about?
golfer, so
And she hit it onto the green on hole 9. Pretty sick though.
yeah, yeah. I liked whose dad was it one year? Was it like Sung Jae's dad or something? Had like just a crazy swing, but just threw a dart on like but yes, I think she's a pro golfer on some level.
Yeah. Dude, the par 3 contest is just something special. Really brings Masters Week together for me.
Pretty much every part of Masters Week
It's
is
just
sick.
it was cool when Scheffler and who's he playing with? Burnsy. There's like 3 guys hit him simultaneously, and then
Oh yeah, we talked
two of
about
their
that.
and then 2 of their wives went after that,
Yeah.
and then it was like Tom Kim.
Yeah,
so, like,
and then the
caddy
caddies have
leftover.
and then whoever is caddying, whether it's a wife or whoever, they have an easy gig. It's only 9 holes and there's like 3
Yeah,
wedges and a
true.
putter in the bag.
Kind of a bummer that Finau's kid didn't hit a good shot. I was hoping for a good one.
I didn't see that.
Case.
I didn't catch any of the
Oh, he shanked one.
par
Sorry for
3.
the
That's
sorry
tough.
for the
That's
S
tough.
word, guys. You can
Yeah,
you can
that's
bleep
tough.
that out in post, but
All right. Any I've got a lot of other individual players here on our list to talk about, but I don't know. Do we need to hit all of them, Jengs? What do you think?
We speed run some of them. We already talked about Phil. Obviously, I'd like to
Quick
speed
drive
run.
by of Cantlay.
Nothing with Cantlay is quick,
That was
sadly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Victor first. Let's talk about Victor first, because Victor, he was tied for the lead after round 1.
Yeah.
Shot a beautiful 7 under, and he really kind of just stuck in it for the entire rest of the week. He kind of had an round in round 2. I believe he shot a couple over.
Yeah, and he was struggling round 3 too, but then when he made those 5 straight birdies on the back,
5 straight birdies were
that
huge.
that was sick.
I think it got him 3 or 4 back after the 3rd round.
He was 3 back going into the final round, which is
And-
well within reach. I mean,
Yeah.
he was definitely in this thing.
I mean, look at guys like Phil and Spieth, what they did, and they were like 10 back. He was there. I just think it's a little bit of lack of experience and a little bit of immaturity. There's some parts of his game that just aren't fully ironed out yet. If you listen to the broadcast, the featured groups, they talked a lot about, his short game is not great. And a lot of those drop shots, I mean, you look at the double bogey on 6 in the 4th round came from, a bad wedge shot and a terrible 3-putt. And from there you make double, and you went
That
from
was a
being,
dagger.
you went from being a couple back to being 4 back, and it hurts. But Victor, he looked really, really good, and he had some really good outfits throughout the week as well.
I disagree with that.
I loved his fits. He's another guy that, the other 3 majors this year, I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe throws his hat in the ring. Maybe he won't necessarily contend, but be up there for a top 10, just because the Masters, it's really hard with the Masters because it's at the same course every year. So you can kind of get a little bit of a feel. He played really well there when he was an amateur, and he's had some good finishes there. So
the thing about Victor, he's just so incredibly talented, and his swing is so good, his ball striking, that I mean, he just ends up in the mix at a lot of these big tournaments. But
Yeah.
it just doesn't feel like on the weekend he's actually a threat to win these tournaments. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully that comes with time, but it's just at the point where, I mean, even if he's hanging around the lead, I'm not, it just, I guess, yeah, basically just like I said, he really doesn't feel like a threat at this point.
Victor's Thursday shirt might be one of the most polarizing things in golf. in the
I thought it
last
was
couple
sick.
years.
I
I was
loved it.
I was about it. I was about it, but he was
Nick-
getting a lot of hate, a lot of undeserved hate.
It got so much hate that he had to change
Terrible.
his script. Round 2, he was supposed to wear a green one.
Instead, he
And
dressed
he
up like the
changed-
UPS
He
man.
changed his script and wore the UPS shirt.
Well, who doesn't like the UPS
I love
guys?
that was a
honestly?
nice brown color.
It was- it
I
was a-
dig that.
It was a good fit. It was another good fit.
I mean,
Even if it
some-
didn't look like he was bringing my package to my apartment.
Yeah, but I mean, like, who doesn't like the delivery man? That's a universally liked human being.
Yeah.
true.
The
It's
guy
like
who
it's
brings
like
you the packages.
it's
He
like
comes
Santa that
bearing
comes at all
gifts.
times.
Exactly. The prime guy.
The thing with Victor, he needs a good clothing company to come and save him from.
What's
From Jay
wrong with
Lindeberg.
J- What's wrong
Yeah.
with JL? I like
they're
JL.
just
Look at his
edgy.
look at Victor's outfits week in week out.
He
Terrible,
looks sick.
absolutely
dude.
terrible.
That green pullover he was wearing to start the round in round
Was
4.
terrible.
I like
want
that a
it.
lot. The shades of
want it.
green. That was pretty cool.
Dude,
I
that guy was
love-
wearing like
I love Vic.
5 shades of green minimum in the final round. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's
Let's-
like
I mean,
Augusta.
His
baby.
his once it got warm enough, he took the
Shout out.
pullover off and the polo. The polo actually looked good, but
I
man,
don't know.
we need,
That
we need,
jacket
we need
was
to get
pretty
him.
cool.
We need to get him on a Grayson or Adidas or I don't know something.
What is he with? Jay Lindbergh right now?
Yeah, Jay Lindeberg. Yeah,
Let's get him some
Not
great.
Adidas long sleeve polos.
Adidas is dust.
I was actually shopping
Phil's-
for long sleeve polos
Jenks-
yesterday.
They're
So-
nice.
So I texted the picture of Phil wearing the long sleeve, right? What do you
Yeah, he
think
looked
about
great.
that?
He looked great.
I
I
almost
thought
said
about wearing
something.
mine for the show tonight.
I didn't want to start some beef, but I thought it looked really bad.
I thought it looked
So,
sick.
I was like,
Anything
let's-
else on Victor?
No, let's continue our drive-bys.
Victor
Uh,
Dubuisson.
What about? Okay, yeah.
Let's.
What
let's-
about Lando? Lando didn't really,
Oh, yeah, Lando.
didn't really sneak anything in on Victor. Anything to
I
add?
mean, I was pretty bummed he couldn't. I mean, he was so up and
Facts.
down all weekend. I really enjoy watching Victor, but
He's the kind of guy where you're watching it and your wife is like, "Oh, I feel so bad for Victor. He missed that putt." You know, like you're just
Yeah.
waiting for him to screw
he,
up.
he
Kind
looks like
sort of.
such
That's
a
mine.
nice guy.
yeah.
Lydia loves Victor. She's his,
Ly-
or he's
Lydia,
her new favorite
Rachel,
golfer.
this is not an isolated incident.
Yeah.
Victor is beloved by wives everywhere.
She
And
is
I do feel
disappointing.
bad him getting paired with Cantley. Victor was
Do we
just
start
leaving.
our Cantley section now?
Yes.
Can
Durant.
we sound the horn? Can we sound the horn?
Yeah.
Cantlay is officially.
I don't have a soundboard over here.
That was really good.
Cantlay is
Except
officially
for one
added
thing, it
to
was
the
not good.
list. I can't believe I didn't
Cant-
put him on the list when I made the list, but Cantlay's on the list. He's on the
Okay.
list.
I saw a lot of takes this weekend. Can we do a prisoner swap? Swap and just do a trade with Liv. Trade Brooks for Cantlay.
I saw some people say, like I saw a couple people were like, "Yeah, give him Cantlay and Xander and take back Brooks and Bryson or something like
Give
just
us
anything."
Yeah, give us Cam.
I'll take Phil.
I give Cantlay for a lot of people over there.
Dude, I would love to give Cantlay for Brooks, dude. Cantlay is so miserably slow. It is
I
it's
also
just sickening to watch, dude. They were like a hole and a half behind.
I also don't like looking at his face because he's like just like
Well, he's a tool.
he's just like
DeWalt
Hey,
tool.
DeWalt.
I don't like looking
Yeah.
at him. I don't know why. And he sticks his little tongue out. And
Like
he
There's a,
frowns. And it's
the-
like
nothing.
maybe smile when you make a putt one time.
I don't know if this is going to get us to the explicit thing, but nothing pissed me off more than on 16. He hits that iron shot to the front of the green. He's got like a 60-foot putt, reads the damn thing for like 10 minutes, and then hits a putt like 8 feet short and does it all over again.
Yeah, I don't even
Like,
think he
it's
lost
just-
his turn.
It's so unbearably like, I just want to go to the bathroom and tie my towel around
Yeah.
the shower.
That's what Ron was
Thing.
trying to do.
Well, yeah,
Go
he
to
went
the
7
bathroom
times
7
and they
times.
still were catching up to him.
According to Brooks, yeah.
Word on the street is if Liv gets both Cantlay and DeChambeau, they'll never finish their rounds ever.
Dude,
So-
that's why they had to shorten to 54 holes is for guys like Cantlay.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, see, Cantlay's going to throw off the whole shotgun start. It's going to be
Yeah, they
a
just let those
mess.
two. They let those two start like 9 holes before everyone else, and then
Yeah. But you could tell multiple different times Victor was just getting absolutely sick of it.
13 was
Obviously.
hilarious.
13 chipping
Yeah.
while before Cantley's even across the little
There's
river.
I heard a lot of there was apparently a few instances where like Victor was on the next tee hitting his tee ball by the time Cantlay was even finishing out, or like he had just finished out and Victor's
Yeah.
already on the tee hitting the next tee ball.
Yeah, it's I can't lay another one of those guys. You never really felt like he was a threat. I know we've been
No,
kind
he
of
plays
roasting him
terrible.
about he hasn't, played well in majors. This is kind of a good appearance in a major. He was in the second to last group. He had an outside chance going into the final round. I think he was 5 back, but really solid third round, the best round of the third round. He was 4 under. But I mean, it was truly disgraceful, the pace of play situation.
Mhm.
You said it was a good appearance. It was maybe a good appearance for him. The only good appearance for the fans is a Patrick Cantlay miscut, so we never have to deal with this again.
Yeah. I mean, that makes me never want to buy a DeWalt power tool ever again.
I want every single tournament to have Patrick Cantlay, James Hahn, and Dylan Fratelli in a threesome, and then put them on feature group coverage so I can know that I'm not going to watch feature group coverage that week.
Just like start them at like 6:45 a.m.
Dude, I don't even remember who was all on the list, but Cantlay, you're on the list now, buddy.
Cantlay is officially on the list.
The only way you can get off is if you come on the podcast and prove me wrong.
Well, we would. Do we have enough time for a guy like him on our podcast?
No, it'd probably take 4 hours,
Yeah,
which is our podcast take 4 hours anyway.
Be an
but-
8-hour pod. We'd have to break it up into like 6 different segments.
Yeah, it'd be
On
we'd have to
essentially.
release one episode a day for an
Yeah.
entire week.
We would be set for a while though. We would just do one episode with
It's
him.
just
We wouldn't
like,
have to
yeah, this is
record for, like,
part
the next
one of
couple
the
months.
Patrick Cantlay.
Yeah,
episode.
which not a bad idea actually. He does have a pretty good record at the Ryder Cup and President's Cup. I mean, he's been a pretty good USA player for the last, I don't know, decade or so. But
Maybe it's because whoever he's playing against, whether it's singles or some sort of 4-ball match or foursomes, the other team just gets
dude,
too
actually-
irrationally angry at the pace of play.
yeah. I mean, honestly, that's what happens when I play Caleb. I start to snap my clubs out of frustration. So
A lot of people were wondering if Jay Monahan sent an old message to Cantlay before the final round, because
Yeah.
he didn't want Brooks to win. So he's like, you know what, just take your time out there. That'll rattle Brooks in the group behind you.
Twitter
but,
is
yeah,
pretty
that-
funny with this whole Cantlay situation.
Yeah, yeah,
Nick,
That's
do
a
you see
tough
the one?
scene.
You see the one of the old couple?
yeah. They were newlyweds when he teed off or something. Speaking of,
That's
did
pretty
he hit
funny.
that? Cantlay hit that putt yet? No, he's still.
No, he did, but he always is. He's mid stroke right now.
Okay, I thought he was still reading it last I
He's-
checked, but
yeah.
I'll let you guys
I mean,
know if he hits
he's
it.
He
Pulling the
addressed
putter
multiple
back?
times.
He's pulling the putter. Is he pulling the putter back? I
Okay.
can't tell.
Is he adjusting his stance right now?
Oh,
Or-
maybe he's still reading it.
I think he walked back to the tee box to get a second look at the green.
I
from
think
back
it. Well,
there,
no,
so,
the sun's setting, so I think they're blowing the horn. So he'll be back here tomorrow.
yeah.
We were just checking on Cantlay there, Jang, seeing if
He's
hit that
still
putt.
there. He hasn't hit that putt yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Anything else on Patty Cantlay?
No,
Or
absolutely
Patrick
not.
can't play, as Lando and I like to say now.
We need pace of play penalties to start being enforced.
Yeah,
Clearly,
yeah.
it's working with the MLB with the pitch clock. Let's bring it over.
There's got to
sick
be
of it.
some
Does that-
accountability.
and I hate to start on a negative, but does that bring us over to Sam Bennett?
Oh, Sam Zinnett, you mean?
Yeah, Sam Bennett.
My boy Sam
mean-
Zinnett?
Little
His pace of
Zimbabwe's.
play. His pace of play was
Zimbabweans.
bad too.
Yeah,
as
he's
much as I
slow.
hate to say
He's
it, that
slow.
was. I
Yeah.
hope he improves that because that was tough.
Yeah, his pre-shot where he's standing over the ball and he takes like 6 different looks at the pin, and
Yeah,
it was
his,
getting.
his
I
pace
heard-
of play was really not good.
I actually heard a lot of people kind of like complaining about it on Twitter, and I was like, "Is it really that bad?" And then I watched his second shot on 1 in the 4th round, and I was like, "Yep, it's really that bad." Maybe he should switch from Zins to grinds and get a little caffeine in his system so he
shout out.
starts playing a little faster.
All
Shut
right.
up.
That out of the way. Super awesome week from him.
Jang's only said that because we're sponsored by Grinds, actually.
I'm working on a grind sponsorship.
Okay.
A grinder?
Well, right now you're doing it for free.
I know, but they gave me this cool koozie that you can see it.
Oh, there you go. Masters Grinds?
Yeah, that's
koozie?
sick, dude.
That's super dope. What flavor are you on right now?
I got an orange citrus in.
Oh, shout out.
But I bought a lot of wintergreen.
Fire
I
me
bought
up.
some mint chocolate, and then
Tell me what the profile is like on that.
Yeah. Is it full bodied and rich or
Oh, it's so rich. It's a
How's
little
that flavor
citrusy, little
profile?
light.
Does it,
yeah?
does it stay with time or does
Does-
it really
yeah,
fade?
does
Oh yeah,
hard?
no, it stays with time.
Does it
Mm.
excite the emotions?
It
Does it
excites
just
the emotions.
transport you down to the Florida Panhandle?
It
Did
makes
you
me
feel
feel
like you
a
were at
whole
the
lot
Masters?
better. It makes me feel a whole lot better than the Zenits did.
It's hard for me to believe that mint chocolate could be defeated by a different flavor.
No, it can't.
Okay, good.
Mint chocolate's delicious.
Yeah, it's undefeated, never lost is mint chocolate.
Undefeated, never lost.
Exactly. I agree. Okay, good.
This
Long
is like
we're
a
on the
free
same
ad
page there.
read. I'm hating this.
No, this isn't free. They paid me. They gave me
You
a
paid
free-
them for their product.
No, they gave me a free test flavor. So I got to shout them out for the test flavor.
What?
So this
what
is
is
their-
this? Oh,
I think
That's
it's
why they do
vanilla.
that, because you
It's
vanilla.
patronize them.
Wait, that sounds good. Vanilla sounds
Yeah.
Hey
good.
guys,
Um,
it's time for our next message from our sponsor.
What it smell?
The Bogey Train is brought to you by
Bob
Raising
Ross.
Canes.
Oh,
Raising
okay, now we're getting. This is an actual
Hey,
free
guys,
ad. We
guys,
can't throw that one in.
It was Easter yesterday. Raising.
I'll edit
Cane's,
that out
right?
of the live stream. I have 20
Yeah.
seconds to do it.
Yep.
I'm sorry, guys.
One love, baby. One love.
But for the record, I will get a grind sponsorship for the pod.
All right, we got to talk about the positive of Sam Bennett now, because that was awesome. Highest
That's
finish
sick.
by an,
It was almost
by
all
an amateur.
amateur.
Highest finish by an amateur since 2005, I believe, and second lowest 36 hole score by an amateur ever at 8 under. Starting 68 was pretty legendary stuff, to be
He-
quite honest.
He didn't look like an amateur those first two rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, he
First
he
day
sort
he
of,
could hit. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say he blew Scotty Scheffler and Max Homa out of the water. That's who he was
Yeah.
playing with.
Yeah. He looked lights out the first day. It was pretty unreal. Like, imagine the nerves teeing off with Scotty
Yeah.
and Homa for that, two
Yeah,
top
yeah,
5
well-
guys at the time.
And I imagine the first tee at the Masters, obviously the nerves got to be incredible. But then after shooting the 68, I mean, you got to be even more nervous for the second round after you went out and put out such a good round like that. And to shoot 68 again was really sweet. I think on the weekend, obviously pressure probably got to him, and he was a little bit more erratic off the tee,
Yeah.
which definitely was a problem for him. But his short game, he hit so many really good pitch shots. Like, he would just kind of loft it up into the air. It'd be a one bounce and just stop right next to the hole. I saw a lot of those from this guy.
Yeah. Frankly,
I mean,
I don't know how.
He's very confident.
Yeah. I don't know how any of these guys got in a groove with how stop and go this whole weekend was.
Yeah, it
You
really
know?
depends. I mean, it did depend largely on what side of the draw you were on. I mean, I don't like
Yeah.
first 2 rounds, the guys in Brooks' draw, which was late early, they didn't really have to deal with any of it.
Yeah.
But then obviously everyone had to in the third round.
Yeah.
But
I just had to go look at Sam Bennett's strokes gained for the week. So round 1, 2.3 strokes gained putting.
seems
and
right.
3 strokes gained tee to green. Round 2, 4 strokes gained tee to green. 2.9 strokes gained approach, plus 1.2 strokes gained putting. Round 3, where it kind of takes a turn, he lost 1.5 off the tee and he lost half putting. And round 4, he lost 2 strokes putting and another 1.5 off the tee.
Yeah, a couple bad 3 putts from him in the final round, especially
Yeah.
when he needed a birdie late to try to get in the top 12, secured invite for next year. He was on the 15th green and 3 putted for par, and then missed a missed a makeable look at birdie on 16 as well.
Yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of, just the putter kind of went cold the last 2 rounds. And the driver was not great. He lost strokes for the week with driver. Everything else was, pretty average. So
Yeah. And in his interviews and press conferences, he was sort of just exuding confidence.
yeah, he was very confident.
The way he said that the course he won the US Amateur at last year, it's called Ridgewood. And he's like, Ridgewood's harder than this place. Just the way he said that. I don't know if you caught that clip, but
Yeah.
that was kind of funny. The way he said that, and just the fact that he did say that. But
And
it was
talking-
really cool to see an amateur playing really well in the mix.
At least you didn't say it's a par 67 to him.
talking about strokes
Yeah.
gained, there's one guy that's not on our list that I just want to hit quickly. Through the first 2 rounds, Scotty Scheffler was the worst putter in the field out of everybody.
Yeah.
He
That was tough.
lost 3.5 strokes in round 1 putting. He lost 3.89 in round 2 putting.
Yeah, and wasn't he like either at the top or near the top in like strokes gained tee to green for both of those rounds?
Yeah.
I mean,
Round
he
1,
was playing very well. He just couldn't make anything.
round 1, he was 7.88 strokes gained tee to green.
That is remarkable. Well, that was the day he shot 68. He struggled. Obviously it looked like he struggled because he wasn't making anything. He was very frustrated and he shot 4 under. That was when I was like, Scotty Scheffler's definitely going to win because he's gonna make putts at some
You
point.
would think, yeah, and it took just a
But
little
he
bit too
didn't.
long.
Yeah, round 2 was terrible.
Round 2
Yeah,
was
that was
bad.
bad. Yeah. I don't know what you think he's just gonna stick with the way he putts, the same style of putter.
Well, it was kind of weird because there was a clip from Masters on the Range or Live from the Masters early in the week, and he looked like really upset on the putting green. Like he
Yeah,
just
I
looked
did
kind of
see that.
irritated. And then they asked him about it, and he's like, "No, that's just my routine. Like that's what I do every week."
Well,
so something just seemed a little off.
Well, it just did the whole week, like on the course too. Like he was getting like very agitated. He's normally not a guy that really kind of shows his emotions when he's playing. He was getting very frustrated on the course. It was kind of odd from
Yeah.
Scotty.
Yeah.
Don't usually see it.
But that's all I kind of wanted to mention with Scotty. Obviously just disappointment. A lot of people thought he could repeat, and he just still finished top 10. Just didn't have it with the putter this week.
And then another thing about Sam Bennett. He won low amateur, of course. He was the only AM to make the cut. A lot of people were talking about how he had a college event today. He was, slated to play 36 holes today. I ended up checking into that. It's the Aggie Invitational. I checked into it earlier. He did say he was planning on playing, but apparently he didn't.
Yeah, he said he wasn't sure, but he thought about it. I saw he flew in pretty late last night.
Yeah. I
That'd
checked
been pretty
the
legendary if
scores.
he would have played
Yeah,
that.
I checked the scores today. Yeah, it looks as if he did not play.
That would have been a true Hardo move if he would have played.
Yeah, I would have.
Yeah, yeah. It was funny. Like in Butler Cabin last night, he's like, "I still haven't made my decision yet, but I think I'm going to play." Just with his southern accent. But
Jenny.
I'm sure he got to bed really late.
Right.
Maybe even woke up this morning and was like,
He was probably
No.
hopped up off 6 different Zins at
No.
that time. I'm very intrigued. I should reach out and ask what flavor he was going. Let's take our bets. What flavor you think he was zinning?
probably just like a wintergreen or something.
I bet he's a citrus guy.
I thought it was a light blue, wasn't it?
Was it a spearmint?
I think it might have been a spearmint.
Oh,
Gotta be mint. Show me
yeah.
mint for sure.
Here's the thing, like I do, there are a lot of things that are pretty endearing about him. If you see from the US Amateur last year, some of those really gaudy club twirls can maybe be a bit of a turnoff. But obviously the story about him and his dad, the tattoo and everything, go look that up if you haven't heard it. I'm not gonna get into it here, but just the fact that he's not like a cookie cutter gorgeous golf swing that you see with a lot of these college players these days, and he's not pumping out 190 ball speed like some of these. It's sort of a homegrown swing. He's had, I think, one lesson in his entire life. And he's not just overpowering the course with distance, but he's just really precise in a lot of areas, hitting a lot of fairways. I did like that too. Just the fact that, he wasn't just out here overpowering it like a lot of the other top college guys these days.
Nick,
And it speaks to the depth of college golf because he's ranked number 6 in PGA Tour University. So allegedly, there are 5 seniors better than him in college golf.
Is Gordon Sargent a senior?
No, he's 19, I think.
Is he?
I think he won nationals as a freshman.
Yeah, I was gonna say he won last year. I knew that.
And he
then
got a
obviously-
special invite to this Masters, but now going forward, the winner of
That's-
NCAA's will get an invite
is
to
in,
the
yeah.
following Masters, which I think is pretty cool. But anyway, Lando.
sorry guys, I'm just doing a quick study into Sam Bennett popping a Zin or Zimbabwe, as some might say.
This is journalism.
It's looking almost like a green,
a green,
kinda what I
like a
was thinking.
dark or light green.
darker.
Okay, so it'd be a winter green probably then.
That was my first instinct.
Wow.
So I think I'm gonna
That's
stick with that.
But
was-
it's
that was
also
Jen's
very
flavor
kind of
choice.
inconclusive. So we're gonna have to reach out to Sam for some further comments.
I'd like to get him on
All
for
right.
get him on the pod. Oh no, we also talked about last week the girl that goes to Georgia that somebody who knows.
Jenny.
Yeah,
Right.
can you try and get her on the podcast as a guest, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh my
Jenny
God.
Bay.
That would be kind of sick, actually.
That would be very sick. That's why I'm saying you should
Come on,
probably
Jenny.
try.
Let's go. Use your
Hey-
connections.
hey,
Down at
Jenny, I have like these.
UGA.
I have like these 3 friends. We do like a golf podcast. We have like a lot of people that listen. We think you would be great on the podcast.
No, just
You
don't even
need to
don't even
qualify like
preface it
that,
like
yeah.
that. Just be like, hey, I have a there's a golf podcast. We would like to interview you.
we could just like
It's
call
like,
her
no,
on Zoom.
say,
for,
hey,
like,
have
15
you
minutes.
heard of the Bogey Train Golf Podcast? You say, no. How have you not heard of it?
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
It's
like,
blowing
yeah.
the charts.
it's
up right
wild.
now.
And I'll get
Uh,
super pissed at her, and then she'll be like, "Oh," then she'll feel bad. She'll be like, "Oh, and now I have to because I feel
Yeah.
bad."
As Mike Wan once
Exactly.
said, it's better
That's
to
a
be
good point.
pissed off than pissed on. So
I wonder
It's like
how
Mike
many,
Wan.
it's a recurring
or-
joke at this point.
Yeah, it was either Mike Wan or Fluff Cowan. Who knows? One of the
Yeah.
two.
Jordan Spieth doing Jordan Spieth things again this week.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah,
guy that
I don't know. He's
I
just
mean, what is this? His 7th top 3 at the Masters, top 10 at the Masters, and it feels like all of them, like he's not really in contention, but finishes in the top 5 or 10. Like he had. There's no chance this week. There's never a time where it's like, oh, Jordan Spieth's gonna win.
yeah.
but
He
yet
just
he
makes
finishes-
too many mistakes. I think he
Yeah.
led the field in birdies,
I
but
mean, the guy just needs to figure it out. I would love for Jordan
It's-
Spieth. He was my pick last week.
oh yeah,
um,
yeah.
And I just love for him to get it done, but he's just way too inconsistent. Like the Jordan Spieth experience is too much right now.
I know it truly is the Jordan Spieth roller coaster, and while it makes for great TV, it's exhausting. I'm not even that big of a Jordan Spieth fan. Not that I'm not, but like if I was, following along to Jordan Spieth like I do, Ricky and some other golfers, I mean, geez, that's an emotional roller coaster. And the fact that he and Phil played together in the final round, I mean,
What
Jordan
I think
Spieth is like the new Phil.
I think I saw they shot 58 best ball in the final round with 2 bogeys,
Yeah, something like that.
which is crazy. Spieth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 birdies in round 4.
And classic, Spieth got a great round going and then goes way left on 18. Stop me if we've seen this before. So
Like he doubled 13 in round 1 and still shot 69. Like
yeah, and he went for the green from the pine straw. It's
Dude, just I'm watching the video right now. Oh my gosh. I don't like where this is going already. Obviously I know as it goes in the water, but oh, and then he slices it. Yep.
Did you guys see Phil's second hole on
Sploosh.
Thursday?
Yes, the Phil Mickelson experience.
Just
the
a-
flop
when
from
he hit
nowhere.
driver off
So-
the deck out of the
Yep,
pine straw, that one.
Yep. He goes driver way right onto, not way right, but pretty far right, pine straw.
Pretty far right.
Hits driver off the deck out of the pine straw, way left, catches cart path, rolls like 30 yards. And then he
I
hits
didn't even know there was cart path out there.
and then he hits a massive flopper from like, I don't know, 70 yards or something to like 6 feet and makes it for birdie.
He and Spieth
That's-
are like the same golfer.
That's
Yeah.
the Phil Mickelson
They're
experience.
so
Crazy.
fun to watch.
Crazy off the tee. Both have magical short games, streaky putting. I mean, and have made a lot of their hay with their iron game. So
I did forget how much going back to Phil, how much I loved watching Phil just recoil the piss out of the driver.
yeah,
Like,
Dude, he
his
rips
swing's
it.
very
Like
yeah,
he
his
has
swing's really
he has
interesting.
no like laid back driver. It is full bore all the time.
Yeah.
And to
That's why-
birdie
that's why you
17
bag
and
2
18
drivers at once.
to birdie 17 and 18 in the final round was pretty like that was
That's
stones.
onions. That's
I mean
onions.
that approach shot into 17, he nearly jarred it, and then
Dude, what is he?
18 hits it to like 10 feet.
What is he? 51 right now? 52?
I think he's
He's
52.
at least 52. Yeah.
And he looks, he like is still in great shape and crushes the ball.
He should be on the Crushers
He should
instead of the
be.
High Flyers.
Yeah, well, either one, I guess.
Anything else on Jordan Spieth from the week?
Not for me.
Lando, Noah,
I'm good. Phil's 52.
Phil's 52.
It's 52.
Oh,
Do we talk LT Gray?
Yeah, let's go a little down the leaderboard quick and just point out some other names here.
I don't know if there's
Or all of
Yeah,
them. You want to give us all of them, Jenks? Actually,
Yeah,
No.
Patrick Reed.
this is my
Screw
favorite
that guy.
This is my favorite segment.
You know, Cameron Young.
Reed did play.
The leaderboard.
Okay,
with Jenks.
Cameron Young, I did want to talk about him.
Yeah,
now.
Cam Young, 67 in round 1. He was right up there, and then
Yeah, looks,
you know,
he
even
looks
par
scary.
round 2, just a 75 round 3, and then
I
a
do
68
think
round 4.
Cam Young, I told you right before the week. I said look out for Cam Young. You remember
did.
that, right?
You
That
did
I
say
made that
that.
very clear. He birdies his first 3 holes of the tournament, and I was like, "Let's go!
That was
It's time."
stones.
And then he went back and forth between making me look like a genius and making me look like an idiot all week. Like as soon as he would build up any momentum, he would do something stupid. But he was a little bit a victim of the bad weather on Saturday, as
Yeah, he
most
got the bad
guys were.
draw.
I think he had a couple double bogeys in the downpour. But no, he's gonna win. He's gonna win a major
Yeah.
in the not too distant future, I think.
Javi, we talked about. Saith Tagala, top 10, gets into the
The
Masters
shot of the
next
week.
year. Yeah,
Heath went tiger mode.
the Tiger mode.
Mm-hmm.
He said a lot of guys
it's-
in the patrons were sort of yelling at him, do it for Tiger, hole it out.
No
And
way.
then he just did it. Yeah.
He-
In your life.
And
In
then
your
they
life.
show his second shot on 17 on the broadcast, and he just doesn't even hit anything remotely close to the green.
Yeah,
It is
that was pretty great.
remarkable how far left and long that shot was for what was like
But-
a mid iron.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And then it's like, well, how could he do that? Like, look at the shot he just hit on 16. I'm like, yeah, look where he was hitting the shot from on 16. How do you think he got there?
it's like he grew up going to the Jordan Spieth School of Golf. And while that's great for TV, I mean, he needs to maybe lay off some of the Spieth,
Yeah.
some of the Spiethness if he wants to get that win on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Also, I have a really interesting take because after a few groups after Sahith went long left on 16, Colin Morikawa went long left,
Dude.
and
Yep.
he
And
almost
almost-
made his chip too.
Yeah, I was.
Which has me thinking, was that shot Tiger made actually not that hard?
Well, yeah, Tiger's not that good. He's over. But I
But,
was shouting.
The fact that Sahith made it and Morikawa almost made it, is that like does it take a little bit away from Tiger's shot in 2005?
I don't know. I think
No.
it's like
I
they
don't
know how
think-
to. It's like they know how to
'cause
play it now.
Tiger hit
I-
that
they
shot
can't.
under pressure where he is, fighting for a Masters championship. These two schlubs are just trying to get into the clubhouse and finish top 12 to get into
Well-
the Masters for next year. But
Yeah, that and it's like that Tiger's shot is so famous and like viewed so many times that like they know the tendency, like where it's going to go as well. You know,
Yeah, they've seen
it's
it.
like, I don't think many, I'm sure people have hit that shot before Tiger as well, to where he got some knowledge of what it's going to do. Obviously you can read what it's going to do as well, but yeah.
I mean, people hit that bunker shot all the time on 16. They hit it high, let it come back. The thing about Tiger's chip shot, I think, was his lie was pretty crap. If you remember, it was on the edge of the fairway in rough, like the transition. So just that he executed that from a very hard lie in that time was crazy.
Yeah, I'm not saying it does take away. I just throw that out there.
I don't think it's like that
I don't
crazy
think- I don't-
difficult of a chip. I don't think anyone like it's not an obviously difficult chip. It's a
I think it's less about like, oh my gosh, this is like a phenomenally difficult chip that like who knows if he can get it up and down. It was just the fact that he hold it out in that situation.
Exactly. And how it all happened. Like it just teetered on the edge.
Yeah.
You just
The
can't,
Nike
you can't
logo,
make
all
that
that
stuff
sort
up.
of stuff.
Yeah, you can't make that stuff up.
You know, Nick mentioned Morikawa 4 under, top 10. Schauffele top 10. Matthew Fitzpatrick tied for 10th. He's kind of been struggling this year.
Morikawa is going to win a green jacket at some point.
Yeah, I would agree.
I just want to throw that out there.
Um,
He last few years he has continued to play well, have fairly late tee times on the weekend. I do think Colin Morikawa will win a Masters at some point.
yeah. Gary Woodland tied for 14th. He was
That
kind
was
of a
kind
guy
of out
that,
of nowhere. He was playing really well.
Yeah.
Like, he was kind of in the mix on Saturday.
yeah, it was the guy that we mentioned last week when I went through those names that qualified under all those metrics. And I said Gary Woodland. We were just kind of like, really, Gary Woodland? And
He's still in the
you
field
know,
from his Masters win or from
Yeah.
his US Open win.
Yep. Tied for 14th. Cantlay, obviously. Tom Kim tied for 16th. One
I'd say
guy,
it's a pretty impressive debut from Tom Kim.
one guy I kind of
under
went
the
down.
radar.
Yeah, went down the leaderboard for. Sam Burns finished at 1 over for the tournament.
He had a really promising start.
Yeah, he was
Uh,
4 under through 3. He birdied 8 to get to 5 under.
I think he shot 5 under in the first round.
He
didn't
shot 68, 4 under.
Okay, yeah.
Round 2.
I had him in my lineup too. And
Yeah.
it just kind of it's hard to sustain it at Augusta.
Yeah, it was the
Clearly.
78 in
Yeah.
round 3 that really did it for Sam Burns. He finished at 1 over, tied for 29th. But
I mean, round 3 got a lot of guys. tripping
yeah, it
over
was
guys,
tough. Other than that, Jason Day.
I
oh
was
my
just
gosh.
I was just gonna bring up my dude.
Oh my gosh.
We were riding Jason Day coming into the week. I had huge hopes. In round 2, with 4 holes left, he was at 9 under. I don't know if you guys remember that. When he was through 14 holes in the second round, he was at 9 under, solo second.
Do not remember that.
Yeah.
He went 4 over in his last 4 in the second round to be at 5 under. I don't think he really moved. He might have shot a couple over.
74 in round 3.
And then he had a decent
Not
start. He got to
terrible.
4 or 5 under in the final round and then double bogeyed 4 out of 5 holes around the
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah,
9,
that's
10, 12, 13.
I'm gonna throw it out there. This is my nominee, and I think it's the winner for Bogey Train of the Week this week.
I'm fine with that.
Bogey par, double, par, double, par, bogey. So I think we can give it to Jason Day this week, Bogey Train of the Week in round 4 of the Masters, which I didn't even realize that he shot 80 in the final round. Like I knew he was struggling.
That's
I didn't realize it was an 80.
The thing is with Jason Day, I mean, I'm still very bullish. I still think he's going to win soon. He played a lot of great golf this week, but yeah, that was just a tough way to finish
Yeah.
it. Especially when, I mean, very early in the tournament, he was all over it. He was 9 under through 31 holes, 32 holes. So
Nobody else on the
yeah.
leaderboard I want to talk about though. So we can move on. We can talk about 3 of the guys who did not
Tiger
finish.
and Rory, Tiger, Rory, JT.
Rory. Oh, I guess JT even too. Yeah, I was thinking just Will.
Can we
Getting
touch
started.
on one guy quick? I want to get your opinions on his performance.
Yes,
Max
sir.
Homa. Did you
Disappointing.
expect
Disappointing.
more?
for sure.
Yeah, expected a
Okay.
lot more.
I mean, this year, obviously, he hasn't really had a great performance in a major yet. This year felt different though, because he's definitely a different player than he was even a year
He's
ago.
much
And it's
better.
like he's done a lot on the PGA Tour, and it's like, okay, it's about time. It's not like you have to win one right now, but we need to see you in the mix at a major.
Mhm.
But it just
It
wasn't the week.
wasn't there.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm still I have very high hopes for him at LACC. I'm still
Yeah,
throwing that out there.
I think he'll still have a
US
good major
Open.
calendar. I just think the Masters it wasn't it this year
Mhm.
for him.
There also were two guys I want to mention really quickly.
Oh, shoot.
It'll be quick. As soon, even though it was, I would say overall a successful week for Liv, they had some guys play really well, and like Phil unexpectedly. Their two best guys were a little bit of a disappointment, Cam Smith and DJ. DJ really struggled. So I don't know what to make of it, or maybe
Yeah.
what went into that. Obviously, they're not going to have a good week every week, but
Well-
I expected a lot more from DJ. I thought he was going to play a lot better.
DJ for sure is kind of a disappointment. Cam Smith, like we mentioned last week, he's kind of not been playing well. He's kind of, in a little low point. So, it was good for him to make the cut. Just, probably disappointing for him. For us, it's kind of, what we expected because he's not been playing well. But
I'd say
yeah,
that's
DJ
about what I expected from Cam. Yeah, but
DJ
I expected him to
very
be in the mix.
disappointing. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that,
Let's
where were
talk
you gonna
about
go?
I was going to talk about four guys that, missed the cut. One guy didn't even start, or I guess four guys that didn't finish. One made the cut, and that's Tiger. Not the best look from Tiger this week. He didn't look amazing. He was really kind of struggling with the putter in round one. Round two, made the cut, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't have a lot to say on Tiger. Like, it was just a disappointing week for a Tiger fan.
I think it was just disappointing all the way around. Obviously, he made the cut somehow. I don't really know how.
JT's how.
JT and Sung Jae late bogeys, but the thing is, obviously, his health a huge concern. Like the fact that he can't get around Augusta for 72 holes without this being a major problem. I mean, doesn't bode well for his future here at other majors. But another that was even more, maybe not more concerning, but just as concerning. I mean, the first round was perfect scoring conditions, and he shot 2 over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
putter
just
was bad.
because of his health. I mean, he's not able to actually get any meaningful reps in before he shows up to these majors. So I mean, even if he is able to get through it health wise. I don't think he'll ever be sharp enough because
Well, the
he
other
can't
thing-
actually go out and get the reps in.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, if he's practicing, okay, he can get 18 holes in. It's also not at the hills of Augusta. And as well as, with the rain situation, playing 27 holes,
Well, yeah. And with
That
his
he's-
condition, the cold weather is absolutely terrible for him.
exactly.
And
He's
then
probably
the
not walking
rain.
these practice rounds either.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet when he's probably practicing with a cart.
Mm-hmm.
And the walk is that much more labored when the course is wet and when
Yeah.
it's cold out. I mean,
That's-
he had to have been so miserable out there.
Those videos, he looked just miserable on Saturday. And something that kind of really scared me, I think it was round one. On 18, he hits his tee shot right onto the edge of the bunker.
I saw that. Yeah.
So he's standing in the bunker, or at least 1 foot in the bunker, and the ball's outside. And it's his right leg that is, bearing most of the weight in this situation. And he hits the shot and he kind of like jumps backwards, and then he's jumping around on his other leg trying to stay off that one leg. It's just,
yeah, that freaked me out a good bit
yeah,
too.
it's really scary for Tiger. And I mean,
Did you
he
guys
doesn't
see
have
the
much else to
report that
prove.
Do you guys see the report that just came out about last year at the PGA? At
Yeah,
Southern
what
Hills?
Jason Day said.
Mhm.
Yeah, that
I-
when he withdrew, it was because there was actually one of the screws in his leg was like coming out of his skin.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is, but if true, very gruesome and brutal.
It's extremely disturbing.
Um,
Like I can't picture a scenario where he's back and he's competitive in
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
in these events.
At this point, if he's gonna win a major again, it's obviously gonna be the Masters.
Is it though?
No, it will.
No,
he's
I
gonna-
think it'll be
if
the
he's-
Open.
if
It'll
he's
be
gonna win
a
another
flatter
major,
course, an easier walk.
He'll win the Masters.
I
But
very strongly disagree.
I
with
I
that.
don't think it'll happen anyway. I think, he has nothing left to prove. I think it's just too far in his career and too many injuries. I think we've probably seen the last of Tiger.
Here's the deal. So, before, when all of this went down, he was, pretty against going to the Champions Tour. And then during his presser, he's talking about, oh yeah, a couple more years, 3 more years, and I can ride in a cart.
Yep.
My
I think he
God.
might make some hay out there.
What would Tiger shoot during like this Masters if he could ride a cart?
I mean,
35 under. Like, dude, if
no,
Tiger,
I mean, it's not like he would have just gone out and won. Like, I still don't think he's sharp enough. Like, he would have made the cut and maybe got like a top 25.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously the health is the biggest question, but I still don't even know if his game is there.
He also,
it's good enough to make the cut, but I think this year, I think he should probably just not play at Oak Hill or LACC and just try to see if he can get back and good enough to give it a run at Royal Liverpool where he's won before. But we thought the same thing about St. Andrews last year, and then he missed the cut by a wide margin. So
the thing is, though, is with an Open, it's pretty chilly. And when it gets cold, that's not good for Tiger's body.
it's not always though. Some years it does get warmer, but as far as those courses are usually flatter when it comes to the walk. So that's sort of how I'm envisioning it.
In Tiger's third round, so the 7 holes he played, he was minus 5.2 strokes gained approach.
Minus?
Yeah, he lost 5.2 shots approach in 7 holes.
Well, yeah,
That's-
he was like 6 over through 7.
That's not very good, is it?
No, that's not good at all.
great.
Pretty bad.
Hopefully, I say it all the time. I've loved Tiger. I was a Tiger fan growing up. Hopefully he comes back, but it's just after this week, I have kind of lost the hope that I had 7 days ago.
One of the
I didn't have
commentators
much.
one of the commentators is like, every time you see Tiger now, it's like a bonus. That's kind of
Yeah.
what it feels like.
That's what it is. You'll see him for the 4 majors. You'll see him for the Genesis,
it's like
and that's all you get.
so you watch him because he's Tiger, but that's kind of all. That's kind of why you watch him.
I feel like everyone has a glimmer of hope,
Yeah.
kind of like 2019, where it was just like, oh my.
Well, he's
Good
still
It's lightning in a bottle.
he still is Tiger. Like he
And that's the
still could
thing
go out
is-
and shoot a 60 one day. You never know. So you watch.
The thing is though, obviously Tiger always says he's not going to show up to a tournament if he doesn't think he like has a chance to win. But when you're saying like every time we see Tiger, it's just a bonus. Like, does Tiger want to have that ceremonial role where he's like doing all of this work to try to be able to be, ready to go for these big events just to show up and absolutely grind to make the cut on the number and then shoot 78 over the
Yeah.
weekend?
I don't.
Yeah.
I think he just likes to play golf. Like I really do. So he will continue just because he can. Like why would you
Man,
stop?
but
He
he's just
loves
putting
playing
himself
golf.
through so much. I mean,
So what's the alternative? Don't.
yeah,
That's
you
his-
could just
that's
not.
his-
I mean, if he
That's his
really likes
life.
to play golf, he can always play golf and play on a cart.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
Do you think he's doing
that
some
is
of it
true.
in the midst of the live separation to like almost back more? His stance obviously is to back the PGA. Do you think some of that's influenced?
I don't think so. I think he's just probably like Noah said, this is just what he lives for. And
Yeah.
he's trying to somehow make it work. And maybe he just doesn't want to face what's probably reality is that he just can't do it anymore.
I think
Yeah.
a part of him knows like it's a 1 in a million chance for him to win now.
I mean, the
Especially
accident
now.
was over 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like how much better can the leg actually get?
I mean, 2019 was already a minor miracle. To have that happen again is just
well,
like
and it's just two totally different circumstances. I mean, obviously a lot of
Exactly.
back issues and back surgeries, but he truly like his right leg is truly a mess.
But he's just like he's the kind of guy that won't quit until he literally has to quit. Like he literally can't play anymore. He will keep playing until he can't.
Yeah. It's tough.
I mean, that's what he's done the last 2 years in the majors.
But I
he's
think yeah.
he's literally played the PGA to the point where he couldn't play anymore because he allegedly had a screw sticking out of his skin. Like, had that not been the case, there's probably still a chance that he finishes out that week. Like, he will play
Yeah.
until it's physically impossible for him to play golf.
But
It's
how
just
many
like
times does he
the
have to
golf.
show up and shoot all these high like rounds in the high 70s to like to realize, okay, I don't need to be doing this anymore.
I don't even know if he's at the point where he
But
cares
I
anymore.
don't-
He's doing it because that's what he's always done.
I don't think he'll ever have that attitude, Nick. I don't think he'll ever be like, why do I keep doing this anymore?
Well,
He-
because he
he
always
doesn't
says, like,
have
I'm
that
not showing up.
attitude.
I'm not showing up to a tournament if I don't think I can win. That's what he's always said.
Yeah.
I mean, if he feels he can win and if he has his absolute best stuff and he feels he can win, that's different. But he hasn't shown us his best stuff in 2 years since 2019 or 4 years. I mean, we haven't seen his best stuff in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I would just, man, it'd be crazy to see like what his career would have looked like if he just never had the injury issues. Like if he would have had Phil's health throughout his
Yeah.
career,
Oh,
like
yeah,
what
imagine.
Tiger's career would have ended up looking like.
Yeah.
Like how many majors would he be in the 20s? Like he
Oh,
probably
you'd
would
have to
have
imagine.
he probably
At-
would have 20 majors.
Yeah,
Well, I
at
mean,
least.
you just got to think, even if he just wins the PGA against YE Yang, that brings him up to what, 16?
Well, I mean, that wasn't due to health.
I know, but
That was just because I was there.
that's just one major more that he could have had. I mean, you're just looking at 4 more majors that he has to have won to get up to 20. I think it's very doable. If not for that injury.
Guys, I sent you this link for this article this guy wrote about Tiger after Thursday at the Masters. Check it out at some point. Phenomenal article.
Yeah. But my biggest thing with Tiger, we all know about the health, but just the fact that,
it's on the Masters. That's
perfect
it.
conditions in the first round. It was warm and it was soft conditions. I mean, absolutely scoreable. And he went and he shot 74. Like that was an absolute red flag
Mhm.
for me.
Yeah.
So we hammer the Tiger.
Yeah,
point.
moving on from a guy who didn't have his best stuff to another guy who didn't have his best stuff, and Rory McIlroy.
By far the biggest disappointment of the week.
Hugest
By far.
disappointment of the week.
Yay.
This is a guy that we're talking about. You know, I think this is his time to finally get the green jacket. And then I can't even find him on the friggin' leaderboard.
+5, I think. Yeah, he was my pick. I will say I did
there
have
he
half
is.
of the pick right. 12 under. I did have 12 under correct. I will take credit for that, but I will have to apologize for my Rory take. At this point, I'm done. I'm never picking Rory to win another major. I need to see it first. That's
This I was really hoping after
done.
this week that we would have gotten a meme, you know, where in full swing, Rory kind of gave you the F you Phil quote. And I was really hoping that there would have been a meme that came out this week of Phil saying F you Rory as he finishes second place and Rory misses the
Phil
cut.
wasn't gonna do that. But here's the thing with Rory, right? Obviously, he's been playing phenomenal golf over the past year. He's, what was he coming into the week? Second or third in the world.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of hype. This is the one major he has to get for the career Grand Slam. It's one thing if you don't win, because it's hard to win a golf tournament. It's not like I would have been, mad at Rory if he just didn't win, unless there was like really bad choking circumstances or something. But just to show up and put on the performance that he did was just incredibly deflating. Like I can't even. It's hard to describe how deflating that performance was from Rory. Like just to not even show up when he's doing all this prep. He supposedly, was playing all this golf, and there were rumors around, oh my gosh, he shot 61 at Augusta in this practice round. It's like, whatever. I'm so over it.
Well, I think a lot of the talk too around that 61 was that he was putting really well. They were saying he was putting lights out. Round 1 plus 0.6 strokes gained putting. Round 2, he lost 2.5. Like the putter was abysmal this week.
Wait. What was this first round?
Plus 0.6, so plus half a shot.
Oh, okay.
Round 2, he lost 2.5. Like his putting was just not good this week. And then you pair that on top of, I'm looking at round 2 specifically, a terrible approach game, not really that great around the green. That I don't know what was going on. And now it's very interesting because news comes out today that he withdraws from the Heritage.
Yeah.
And there's no explanation around why. He doesn't give a reason. He just says, I'm not playing. Is it health? Is it like what's going on with Rory McIlroy is the question.
Yeah, this was, I don't know. And now you have Spieth talking about just how exhausted he is, with all of the golf they've been playing in this stretch. Like they played 8 out of the last 10 or something. And, Rory was appearing to be pretty gassed towards the end of the match play, right? Because that's like 7 matches or however many it was. But yeah, I don't know. Just really disappointing.
Could this result in a potential overhaul of the designated events system?
Well, and it's going to be a different schedule next year anyway, but yeah, it'll be
because this was one of the things that worried me was this, like you said, 8 out of 10 weeks. It's a lot of golf. Most guys are not playing. They're playing 8 events in 3 months.
And now they got
4
Harbortown
months
this week, which is a designated event. So
yeah,
it's crazy.
It's interesting. I hope we get something in the news at some point this week about Rory. And
it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the PIP because the guidelines for this season, I mean, you could only skip one of the designated events to be eligible for your full percentage of the PIP. And now this will be Rory's second that he missed. Unless there's some sort of injury we don't know about, according to the letter of the law, it would seem that he shouldn't be eligible for his full PIP. But then it sounds like Jay Monahan has said something like, "Well, I have judgment over that, so I think Rory's going to be fine when it comes to the PIP," which is really interesting to show that the rules may or may not apply. But
I'll say the one bright thing out of Rory though, driver was good.
What?
Driver was good.
Oh, that's great.
That's
love to hear it.
That a month ago, that's the thing we were talking about is that Rory could not hit driver. He hated his driver. This week, the driver's good. Everything else sucks. Rory, you're running out of time if you want this career Grand Slam.
Yeah, it has for the longest time seemed like, okay, it's Rory, it's Augusta, like it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time. But like, does he have like a mental block here? Because he hasn't go back and look at his first rounds in the Masters since he's had the opportunity for the career Grand Slam, 2015 and on. His first round scoring average is abysmal.
We're getting to the point now where I think it's time to start asking the question, has Rory McIlroy's best chance at the Masters already passed? The 1 year that he lost, he was in contention on Sunday and didn't get it done. Is that going to be his best chance he's ever had?
Well, maybe. I hope not. But yeah, will this end up being like the Phil Mickelson US Open story? That'll be.
Oh, with how Phil's playing right now, he could probably just win a US Open this year and just
stop it. Stop it.
Another guy that missed the cut, Justin Thomas, which was kind of a crazy one. When they teed off, when they came back on Saturday morning, he had like a 92% chance to make the cut.
think it was like 99, honestly.
Was it higher than that? And then just absolutely fell apart.
It was in the worst of the conditions. Well, some of the worst of the conditions Saturday morning, but yeah, it was a tough scene. Especially it's a nice background there, Noah.
Thank you.
Especially since he
RV.
did the walk and talk on hole 14, and he was saying something like got a really long day ahead of us with these conditions, and then he just absolutely fell apart, and in an instant he missed the cut and was done for the weekend.
Yeah, he's drinking his protein shake. He's like, yeah, it's really tough to eat, tough to eat and stay hydrated with conditions like this. I got 30 holes of golf to play. And it's like, actually, you've got 7 holes of golf to play, and then you're going to pack it up and go home because you couldn't finish the round.
Thought the walk and talk was weird
It's
at Augusta.
It was
I'm
very
not-
weird. I like it in the normal events, but at Augusta, it
yeah,
was just
I kind of agree with that.
and it was very weird that Rory actually did it too.
Yeah. And yeah, JT didn't seem thrilled, but it's like,
I was
mean,
about to
you agreed
say-
to it.
I was about to say JT did not want to talk to them. He was like trying
Yeah,
to
did-
hang up the whole time. At the end, he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go make this putt." And
And then did you see just the way yes, the way he just
throws the AirPod
needed
at
the
somebody?
AirPod.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I was
he
like,
dropped
oh.
it. He dropped on the ground and then stepped on it a couple times and twisted
Oh,
his
yeah.
foot, and then he threw
Yeah.
it. But
And then
Yeah.
lit it on fire.
yeah, you might have missed that part. But and then he gave it the finger before he threw it too.
And then he dropped it down the garbage disposal.
Yeah. So and then he threw it. So
I don't have much else to say on JT besides just the disappointment at the end of round 2. Like, I don't think he was going to win by any means.
Yeah.
But just the miscut was kind of a disappointment after.
We need to
having
be
a
monitoring the
99%
situation with
chance.
JT. I think this is first time outside the top 10 in the world ranking. And that sort of happened recently since
Oh,
I don't know how long ago. So we need to see what's going on over there at it's definitely a situation we're keeping an eye on, because he's not in the top 10.
yes. And then I guess lastly, one more player to talk about, guy who didn't even get the week started, Will Zalatoris. He withdraws before Thursday's round due to injury. And news comes out today that he has had another surgery and he is out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, this is all extremely concerning stuff. First of all, I saw some people like early in the week saying that like they had Zalatoris in their lineup. They were putting money on Zalatoris, even not knowing anything about the health. Like I was like, that's a terrible bet. What do you guys? He hasn't played good golf at all this year. He had a season-ending injury in August of last year, and he had to make a swing change to try to compensate so he wasn't injuring his back anymore. And then hasn't once played well this year, and people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm feeling like Will Zalatoris is going to win the Masters." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And then he withdraws day one after a couple days prior, saying, "Oh yeah, he's feeling 100% healthy." So this is all just strange and concerning.
Yeah, it's for a guy who had so much promise. What year was it? Was it 2021?
It was 21
The-
when he came out of nowhere. And
Yeah, the
got
Hideki
second.
year.
Yeah.
And it was just like, dude, this guy has got it. And then it was like every single major. It was the Masters, it was the PGA, it was the US Open. He was just up there. And it's like, he's gonna get this done. And then last year at the Masters, he does it again. And he was
Wow.
contending at the US Open with Matthew Fitzpatrick, and he hasn't got it done. And now it's extremely concerning that he's missing more time with injury after he just missed time. What was it? 2 years ago, he had to miss the Ryder Cup
Yeah.
with injury. It's extremely concerning for his career.
Well, yes. And the fact that when he said he was supposedly 100% healthy, and then when he withdrew, he said he woke up feeling tight and wasn't able to go. So it goes from woke up feeling tight on Thursday to season-ending surgery on Saturday after 4 days before that being at 100%. I mean, these puzzle pieces aren't adding up.
I don't know how tight you have to wake up to have season-ending surgery, but you got to be pretty tight.
Apparently.
Can they do surgery to fix his putter stroke?
That's interesting. That's I don't know if they can. That might be a lobotomy.
Mm.
But
Ice pick lobotomy.
I know you're kind of a Willie Z guy, Landon. Do you have any thoughts on the situation that's happening over there at
It's just super
Willie
unfortunate.
Z's camp?
It's just super unfortunate for him. He's been playing lights out, before going on the string of, he was in the top 10 for almost everything he played in. Played pretty solid. What, he finished second at the Masters?
In
Is that 2
21,
years
he
ago?
was second
Yeah.
at the US Open last year. He was second at the PGA last year.
Yeah, I mean,
So
when he's healthy, he's lights out. So hopefully things can get shaped up for him. But unfortunate,
that's a really interesting background you've got there. Little did we know at the time we were style trailblazers because
Yeah,
you got Victor Hovland,
I think Hovland took notes from us.
taken from us. You've got Adam Earthtone Scott has been the king of beige over the past 5 years or so. I mean,
Well, I don't know if we can see
we were blazing trails that we didn't even know about.
Yeah, I'm glad people can't see the pants we were wearing because it was probably close to the same color.
Yeah, khaki out in khaki.
What tournament was that? Junior?
The oversized t-shirts are a great look.
Well, yeah, the day before we wanted to get something matching, and
Well, they're good if it's like a little too chilly outside. Then it's almost a long sleeve.
Yeah,
polo.
I think we shot a best ball 83 that day, so we were feeling it.
That's really good for you.
Yeah, when Landon used to tower over me.
It's like when Nick and I shoot best ball anyway in the two-man, so
I could
Pretty
drive
much.
the ball then.
Okay, so did we have any other big surprises or disappointments? I think we pretty much
I think we hit about
all of them.
everybody.
Homo was up there for one of the biggest disappointments for me.
He's one where I need to see it happen first before
Willie Z was a disappointment too. That one kind of hurt, but
definitely. Kevin Na, I had Kevin Na in my lineup.
Yeah,
just kidding. So anything else on like how our picks worked out? I had Minwoo Lee. Actually, I had Minwoo Lee in my lineup. That ended up not working out very well for me. He played pretty well at Augusta last year, but he was just straight up bad this year.
I feel like that's what you get with Minwoo, though. I mean, he can either light it up or
he's one of the streakiest golfers in the top 50. So Steph Straka.
Who were my picks? I picked Spieth to win. I think I talked Max Homa up. I talked Morikawa up.
In my DraftKings, I had Cam Young, Jason Day, Minwoo Lee, Xander Schauffele, Sam Burns, and Corey Connors. Corey Connors was disappointing. I did not think he was going to miss the cut.
I was not high on Corey Connors.
My Masters app fantasy, I had Scheffler, Rory, Gordon Sargent, and I don't remember.
Jeff, Homa, Burns, and Rory.
I had Scotty. I had Scotty, Colin, Jason Day, and then Rory. And the Rory one still just irks me off that I took John Rahm out. What could have been. And better news though, 878 total birdies for the week. So I don't know.
My
what
guess
numbers
was
we
in
were
the
talking about
860s.
last year, but
My guess was in
last
the
week.
860s.
I think I said
So-
811. I don't really remember.
What
All
was
right.
last year's?
Like
My
eight.
You
yours
guys
was like
remember?
840
Oh,
something,
yeah.
maybe.
Okay.
I think I guessed 777 this year.
You did guess 777.
Wait, do you have the,
Drew.
do you have
Yeah,
the
I have the
results?
results.
Who won our
So Drew won. He had 271 points. Noah was
I think I
second
was
with
close.
251.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Sully. Who's
here-
Sully?
That would be
That's
Mac,
Mac.
Sabi.
246 points. He was third. Past the hat was fourth with
McLean.
245. And then I was fifth with 240.
Here's the thing. The
What
the
was
second
Hayward?
round.
What was Hayward?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hayward. That was Landon.
6th.
Sixth, yeah.
Here's the thing.
Top six, baby.
The end of the second round to the beginning of the third round, obviously usually there's like a whole night in between, but it happened so quick. So I didn't, because I think you have the opportunity to switch out
Yep.
guys that missed the cut.
Yeah.
And I didn't, because I just wasn't thinking of it, because
Was
the
I
second
one of the
round
only
ended and-
people that took advantage of that?
Which is kind of a sham, honestly. If you pick a
And the-
guy that misses the cut, that's on you.
That's how our
I-
DraftKings works.
I switched Rory out and I was like, do I want Rom or do I want Brooks? And I said, I've passed on
Ooh,
Rom
yeah.
once already this week. And so I'll pass on him again and I'll take Brooks. And boy, was that.
And
good.
you took Brooks right when he cooled off.
Yep.
Perfect timing.
So
Let's see. Why can't I remember who I had? Oh, Rory. Oh, I had Shoffley.
Oh,
in
yeah,
my
you had
Masters
Xander.
one too.
that was another guy I was kind of looking at last week. And
So, anything else from Augusta?
You boys
No.
applying for tickets?
I've been applying for 5
yet.
years.
Have you
Good.
Yes.
really?
Yes.
Oh my. Overall, it's just a great week. It's sad that it's over, but I mean, there's nothing like Thursday morning watching the coverage on the app. Like
It's-
there's nothing like it.
I forget how much I love the Masters. Just like you said, watching the coverage, the song, not only Augusta by Dave Loggins, but also is it the Thrill of Victory? Is that the one that they have?
That's the
When
CBS one.
That's it's awesome. I love it. But we get to move from a tournament with a cool jacket for the winner to another tournament with a cool jacket for the winner. We get to go to the RBC Heritage this week.
Basically like,
Hilton Head.
Mom, I want the Masters. It's like, oh, we have the Masters at home.
We have green
That's
Yeah.
that's what this week is.
Yeah,
I
it's if
mean,
you're
how am I
it's a green
supposed to-
jacket if you're colorblind.
Yeah.
I saw a
Uh,
lot of sandwich review videos this week.
Yeah.
And they were kind of in consensus that the egg salad sandwich was the best, which I find extremely hard to believe.
I hear that a lot. I hear that the egg salad is better than the pimento cheese, but I
Yeah,
think the
that's the
pimento
word on the
cheese is
street.
just more masters.
Yeah.
Then that's why it's talked up.
I just like,
I love how the sandwiches are so like simple. Like there's absolutely no presentation involved. It's like
Oh,
two
they're-
slices of white bread and then like
yeah.
whatever.
it's a
it is,
sandwich.
like
I saw
like, the
someone pull out one.
is-
It was like it's like a bun. It's like a bun that you get from like McDonald's.
Yeah.
With just like a couple some meat in between. It's like
yeah.
you gotta love it.
I would like to go someday, and hopefully they don't change the menu too much, because I would like to try a lot of that stuff.
They
And
have
we'll have to do Taste of the Masters next year.
they do a bunch of those like menus, and they're like, what would you buy with if you had this much money? And one of them, there was like, he was like $10, and blueberry muffins and coffee were both $1. So I commented, I'll take 9 blueberry muffins and 1 coffee.
Oh my!
They had a
God.
video that they did with Tom Kim, and they said you get $20, walk into the concession stand and buy whatever you want. So he walks in with his $20. He gets an egg salad, a pimento cheese.
Nice.
He gets the sports drink, and then he gets like 2 cookies or something like that, and it was like $12.
Yeah. So you don't need anything else. That's it.
We just lost Nick. I don't know what happened.
That's all right. We don't need him. He kind of holds us back, honestly.
There he is.
No, we lost
I'm
the
good.
sound though. Oh, there. Okay.
I'm good.
Anything else?
You guys playing some golf this week? The snow's gone.
Yeah, golf course is not open up here yet. I'll be in the simulator topping it again.
First course I hear that's gonna be open. Once I hear it, I'm gone.
My
Taking a look
my
off.
courses in my neck of the woods are open tomorrow.
Oh.
So
Ooh.
let's see if we
Are
can.
you-
And of
are you-
course, we gotta. Of course, it's gonna be beautiful the whole week, and then as soon as it gets to the weekend, it's supposed to be just awful.
Yeah, it's supposed to be raining and
So-
cold again this weekend.
Yeah. But at least I don't have a shattered leg, so I might be
I-
able to make it work.
I am
That helps.
I've been looking into a fitting here the last couple of days. I've been kind of doing some research, trying to figure out what I want to do. If I want to make the 4-hour trek to Minneapolis and go to Second Swing, or if I just want to take the easy way out and go to Osted's in Sioux Falls. But
What would Drew Mahold say?
well, Drew Mahold would obviously say take the 4-hour trek to Minneapolis, but I don't think I can find time to drive to Minneapolis in the next month and get clubs.
What about this
So-
weekend?
I can't this weekend. We got stuff going on.
No, you don't.
I actually do. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I've been fit at Second Swing. I've been fit at Osted's. One was better than the other. And
And it rhymes with schmostads.
Was-
maybe that's all I will say.
Which one was better, Minneapolis or Sioux Falls?
Second Swing. Second Swing was better.
Dude, we're not even sponsored by them. You can't be.
It's
you can't be
just I'm
saying
sorry.
that.
That's just
You can't be saying
I just
that.
wanna. I need
There
I
goes our
need-
Ostad.
what are you
sponsorship.
trying to get fit for?
irons.
Irons.
I got fit at Second Swing for irons and it was a breeze.
I know, but it's 4 hours away.
Drive faster.
Jinx, I grew up there. I know all the spots. I'll tell
I
you
mean,
where to
it's
go.
about three and a half.
Yeah, Second Swing Tonka. And you're not even all the way in the cities.
Yeah.
Just 3.5.
Which one's Drew work at?
Well,
Isn't
he
he
doesn't even work
Tonka?
at a store. He works
Yeah.
at headquarters.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's a top gun now.
He's a
Drew
top
said
guy.
No,
Drew said he'd
But
fly
if you're
down
gonna
to-
get a fitting, I mean, don't do Minneapolis. Definitely do Minnetonka. Minnetonka's
Yeah.
way better. But
I love
shout out
Dallas.
Second Swing.
Yeah, the
When I went
Ostads
to
and
Second
Tonka's way
Swing-
better.
Get out of here. I got a free fitting when I went. Someone canceled and they were like,
What?
"You want a fitting?" I said, "Yep."
Gosh,
I heard-
it's still so
One of my-
far.
One of my buddies went, and then he got done, and then was it you, Nick, who got a free fitting? Maybe, but they were like, "Are you in college?" And then he was like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Oh, we take care of our college students," and then gave him a free fitting.
That was me. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was like, this is a good
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. I don't know if it's I don't know if I should be saying that because who knows whether they're supposed to be doing that, but I'm not gonna say who the fitter was. I don't even
Well,
think
this
he's
was
there
at a
anymore.
yeah.
But because I was like,
Jaden,
you know I'm ordering these clubs through my coach, right? Like I'm not getting them from Second Swing. He's like, oh yeah, but we'll take care of it. I was like,
What a
I'm
beauty!
not gonna argue, sir.
What a beauty! Then
Well,
Nick ran
Lando-
away.
James, I'll buy you some food if you come. I'll even come and watch your fitting.
And chirp you.
Dude,
too.
I will I'll go get it at Second Swing. If I can get Bata to fly me to Minneapolis so I don't have to drive, I'm in.
Oh, there you go. Sounds like a lock.
You're gonna fly to Minneapolis from
Dude,
Sioux
I don't want
Falls?
to drive there.
It's like the easiest drive ever.
I'm not
It's like,
from Sioux Falls, genius.
You'll pass.
What
like
if I
3
drive to
cars.
Watertown and pick you up?
Even Watertown's
I'm
even
in.
easier to drive.
Then I'm in.
Yeah, you'll
If
pass
you-
like 2
if
cars from
you-
Watertown.
If you drove to Watertown, picked me up, took me to my fitting, and drove me back, I'm in.
What's wrong with
I just hate.
so it's not
driving.
even finding the time, you just hate driving?
I hate driving.
I actually
Dude,
like driving. I don't
Like
mind it at all.
I despised going to the Vikings game last year solely for the fact that I had to drive 4 hours to get there.
That's
James,
I
if
really
you
don't mind
drive
to drive.
to the
It's a hot
outskirts
take.
of the metro, I'll come pick you up outside of the metro.
What's the outskirts of the metro considered?
I mean, you have to drive like 3 hours.
Orono?
Is like Excelsior outskirts? Or is that-
Excelsior, yes.
Yeah.
I'd pick you up there.
Well, at that point, I might as well drive the extra
Well, if you don't like the traffic,
25 minutes.
We've hit the
to-
point where our podcast content is terrible.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
Bogey
how-
Train
So
Theory.
that's the sign.
I love how the only solution that is solving is you not being behind the driver's wheel. Like you still have to be in the car driving. You're just not the one
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah. That,
Oh, what's
all right. I think
Nick,
I'm gonna
let's-
cut it off.
let's plan a trip to
Uh,
Minneapolis and see Lando one week.